I don't want my rude sister-in-law at my wedding. I know she'll try to pull something.
Yeah, try to pull a fast one, probably.
Ooh, try to pull your man.
Try to pull a leg of your man.
Oh. So I'm in need of some advice. There's a lot of drama with my fiance's sister, and she's always been rude to me, and I don't know why. By the way, this comes from No Attention 3308, and you can send in your stories to r/okstorytime. When I first met her, she seemed nice, and I liked her. My fiance's friends told me to be careful because she always acts that way in the beginning, and then she shows her true colors, which she did. Even my fiance told me not to trust her and not to share much with her because she tends to use and twist whatever she sees and hears from other people. My God. Despite all that, I've always treated her with respect and was nice to her until I got tired of her behavior. She started with mean looks, mean comments about my accent to other people, and saying hi to me when she saw me, completely ignoring my presence and talking to whoever was next to me, but not to me. Infuriating. And then she started making comments about my family. We all speak Spanish, so we have an accent when we speak English, saying things to my fiance like, do you even understand what they're saying?
Oh, you are so not cool, guy.
Not cool, guy. Dakota, you told them. You told them, brother.
Ooh, for lack of things I cannot say here, you are very not cool, guy.
Tell him. Which he ignored. He ignored it. Then one day, she just closed the front door when I was walking towards it after watching me struggle with grocery bags, complaining to her friends about how much she wanted to go away, even though I was engaged to her brother, making racist jokes at lunch with her grandparents. She even insulted me in Spanish, and when I called her out for it, she just laughed and ignored me. My fiance talked to her multiple times, but nothing changed. She just got defensive and started yelling at him, which seems to be what she does whenever someone tells her something she doesn't like. Despite all of that, I try to be civil around her for her parents' sake since we got along really well and we love spending time together. That was until one night when she went off on me when her parents mentioned our upcoming wedding. We were talking about guests and she started saying who should go and who shouldn't. How I shouldn't think about their family and not mine when it comes to guests. Mind you, there will be 3 times more of people from my fiance's side than mine. All of this because she wanted to invite her friends.
Where's the backup here, dude? Where's a single soul putting this trash goblin in her place?
Requesting backups from spineless husband. Oh, it turns out his spine is wet toast.
Like, I mean, is this sanctioned by the family? Like,
I think we're about to see, but it seems like nobody stands up to her. Which, same as joining in. All of this because she wanted to invite her friends. So we tried to tell her that it was our wedding and it was our decision to see who we invite. And she said, well, we're paying for it, which is not true. My fiance's parents offered to help pay for the wedding, and we are incredibly grateful for that. But she is not giving us anything. She went as far as saying, we're just doing this because of your dad. And that sent me off. A little background. My dad can't come to the US because he doesn't have a visa, so my fiance and I decided to have our wedding in Cabo.
This woman is making a hullabaloo about a wedding in Cabo? Shut up,
This
girl.
is the most everybody wins scenario of all time. Wedding in Cabo, dad gets to be there. Shouldn't we all be happy, Dakota?
No,
Shouldn't we? It was our decision to do it in Cabo because, of course, I have to have my dad in the wedding, and Cabo is a beautiful place for a destination wedding. 2 absolute freaking facts. Going back to that night, after she said that, I just lost it on her. Things went bad really quick. She started yelling. I raised my voice because I'm not going to let her talk about my family and wouldn't let her yell at me. And then my fiance and I left. I saw her only once after that. Of course, she never said hi to me or acknowledged my presence, and we have avoided each other ever since. Now our wedding is coming up in 5 months, and of course, she's going.
Oh, is that an of course? I hope that she doesn't. I hope she goes away into a black hole.
So we didn't want to invite her, but we knew we had to in order to avoid a fight with his parents. But now we just really don't want to have her there because we know how much she likes to start drama.
John, we're going to get back to the story,
Yeah.
but you're old.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got a
baby.
piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect you. course.
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
Now back to the story.
We're even more anxious because we rented a villa so both families can be together and make a vacation out of it. We'll have it for a full week, but we totally forgot about having to deal with her, and now we're regretting it. My mother-in-law said her daughter will only go for the wedding, but it turns out she decided to go for the full week and made her dad buy her a plane ticket for those dates. I have so many thoughts we'll get to soon. Her mom suggested that we could have a sit-down talk with her to talk about these issues and make sure we clear the air so nothing happens during our wedding week. But she also said she can't promise it'll go smoothly because her daughter is very difficult to deal with. And I don't know if I want to do that. I really don't want to see her again because I know it'll turn into a fight if we decide to have that talk. I don't feel like I want to deal with that. So Reddit friends, what can I do? We try to avoid her as much as possible, but mother-in-law is always trying to include her and sometimes forces her presence in whatever we want to do. We know she'll make sure to be around for whatever we do. She wants me to include her while I get ready with my bridal party and have my makeup artist do her hair and makeup, but I said no, and now she wants me to find her someone that can go to our Airbnb to help her get ready. And like that, I'm sure she'll want to be there to stir up the pot as she actually does. We have the update, but I gotta talk with my boy, Big D.
Nah, foot down. Not happening. Not going. Done. Foot. Take it here. Take it from there. And put it down. Because she is like openly racist to you. Openly like disparages
Even learn
your
Spanish to be
heritage.
more racist.
Yeah, learn Spanish to get racist with you in Spanish. Like, that is a hard no. I don't want this person at a celebration of anything that I'm a part of until she gets on her freaking hands and knees and apologizes and is like, I see the error of my ways. It was disgusting. I'm sorry. You don't have to accept my apology, but I just want to let it be known how regretful I feel about my actions, which will never happen. But that would be the only thing she could possibly do to salvage her chances at being involved. But you need to sit down with the father-in-law and the mother-in-law and your husband, and you need to be like, this is not happening. I love you guys. Her behavior is unacceptable, and I will not be made to tolerate it on my wedding day.
But Dakota, we got the update. So my fiance talked to his parents. He did it.
Good
first step about this issue. He told them we don't want to have to be around his sister during our wedding week, that we talked, and even though we don't want to invite her to our wedding, we were considering doing it just to keep some sort of peace with his parents, to which his mom blew up. She got very upset and said that we can't exclude his sister because she's family, and no matter how she behaves, she's his sister and he has to accept her the way she is and have her there for everything. Now we are truly seeing parents. And
that's let me translate that. Your sister's behavior doesn't affect me or your father at all, so we don't care.
So there was a lot of back and forth from my fiance and me telling her that it's not fair that we have to keep putting up with her, and from her saying she won't take any sides and that if it comes to that, she just won't go. My fiance was really hurt, of course, because of her reactions and the things she said, and told her that she is taking sides by not choosing to go. Bingo. She said she'll still go to the wedding, but only for that and not the whole week like we had planned, because she's not going to tell her daughter that she can't come to our events or stay in the same place as us, that we should just let her be, and that excluding her is not the mature way to deal with the situation. To which my fiance said, so we just let her talk crap during our wedding? And she flat out said, yes, she's your sister, and no matter what, that comes first.
You know, Cassandra said something that I think resonates, is that this guy's probably been second his entire life to his sister. From the sound of it, the sister's golden child. And can't do no wrong because it's just your sister. It's just the way that she is, which apparently is perfect, and she doesn't need to change anything about her behavior.
And that's, in fairness, that's a lot to work through. Maybe husband is, you know what? He is standing up right now, and maybe this is him doing the work to like undo a lot of this like stuff from their childhood, like you're saying, of like, no, you just have to shut up and sit down.
And it's like the reality of situations like this is there's a lot of stuff in the gray. It's a complicated dance. It's not just like we have the ability to be detached from it and be like, oh, this is clearly it. But it's like it's a delicate dance when you're dealing with your own family and your future in-laws and like trying to maintain some semblance of peace that you can carry on into the future. But it's like when it comes to this, it's like the sister-in-law outwardly hates OP in disgust, not just like I don't like you, and like she's viciously racist.
Yes. But Opie says, I guess that was the last straw for him. And he just said that won't happen. Hold on. I like this. We love a growth arc. We love a growth arc. Husband's doing it, right?
Foot down.
So now his mom now says that she won't go. His dad wants us to talk to his daughter to lay out everything that happened because she probably doesn't see anything wrong with her behavior and that she probably didn't mean to be rude or disrespectful, that we might be perceiving things wrong and that we need to go figure things out so we can all be a family. But my fiance and I were very hurt and mad about his mom's reaction, so we just ended up leaving, and they said we'll talk later this week to have that sit-down talk. At this point, we don't know what's going to happen. We still have to pay for around $15,000 of the remaining things for our wedding, so we are considering paying for it ourselves because we won't ask them for the money they offered anymore. Our invitations have been sent. All of the guests already have their plane tickets and accommodations booked, and we do want to have the wedding we dreamed of, but this is all very overwhelming. We talked about just going somewhere, the two of us, and getting married. He doesn't want his parents to go anywhere, but I know he's hurt and upset. I don't want him to regret that later. That's the update I have for now. I guess we'll talk about it more over the next few days and figure out what to do, if we keep moving forward with the wedding planning or if we just cancel everything and let our guests know. I really hope that whatever we decide makes us happy, at least as happy as we can be after all of this. Dakota, we have the second and final update of this story.
Yes.
What are you thinking right now?
My perspective would be that if the parents or if I'm OP's husband and my parents can't see our perspective after having it laid out right in front of me, be like, look, this is exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C. My sister can't go. And they're still like, well, she has to. I'd be like, dang, that's a really rough way for me to find out that you guys can't come to my wedding either. Because I'm not going to let anybody who would don't worry about the racism just thrown at your sister at your wife with a bazooka from your sister. It's like, don't worry about it. Anyone who's underplaying that and like it's like you're not coming to the wedding, and now we're like low to no contact until you like adequately apologize and show that you've grown into a new perspective about all of this.
And you know, like, while I appreciated OP's thoughtfulness for like, oh, you might regret it later, I think what husband has realized now is like, our wedding's gonna suck with parents and sister there. Let's enjoy our wedding. Let's do that. And like, again, appreciate OP's thoughtfulness, but I think husband is like being like, yo, I see your side. I'm on your side. Let's protect you. Let's protect me. Let's protect us. Kick them all out. Let's enjoy our wedding.
Yeah,
let's pay
at
for
this
it
point,
ourselves.
I'm straight up. I'm like, it would ruin the wedding more if they were here.
Exactly. And we're getting into this update number 2 to close it out. We eloped.
Yes!
We got married in secret. Sort of.
The solution. Oh, sort of.
Sort of. Hold on to your bucket. My husband and I went to California, which is where we met, got engaged and lived together for the first time. Yes, we are hopeless romantics, and got married at the courthouse. It was an intimate, beautiful, and very emotional ceremony. We loved everything about it, and we couldn't be happier to now be husband and wife. Our only guest was my sister, OP's sister, not the sister-in-law,
right,
to be clear, who was also our witness because she's been a part of our relationship from day one. She's also my best friend, and my husband adores her as if it was his own sister. Hey, maybe we could do a little swap-a-roo, you know?
Well, yeah. Upgrades, people, upgrades.
So that made both of us feel happy to have someone so close to us to have such an important role in our marriage. By the way, if you want to have an important role with us, okay?
In our marriage to you,
there's one specific place where you can get full-length episodes with stories just like this. I'm talking Spotify. I'm talking Apple Podcasts. I'm talking any podcast platform. You can search OK Storytime. It's all right there. It's all right there. But Dakota, we haven't finished, but we are nearing our final destination. We have eloped. We are married. It was beautiful. It was intimate. It was with the sister we love. What are we thinking right now?
You picked the right choice.
We love the progression arc of he went from a gelatinous toast spine to regular science class standard grade spine.
Oh yeah, no, that toast got dried out
got
and they put some rebar in that.
Oh yeah, baby.
You cannot eat that toast.
Get
It
the
is
steel in
too
there.
strong
It's
to eat.
crunchy. But we have a finale to the story. So it wasn't the big wedding we thought we wanted, but it was beautiful and perfect in every way. We got to get married on our own terms and then celebrate with my mom, sister, and our closest friends. So we really enjoyed every second of it. Now we are getting ready for our big wedding in Cabo, which despite all the drama, we know it'll be fun since we'll have everyone else there to celebrate. It'll be like having a big party. And now we don't feel anxious or nervous about things going wrong anymore because at the end of the day, we already got to have the wedding we really wanted. Just the two of us.
Exactly.
I love it.
They know. They see the light.
They see
They
the
know the
light.
truth.
Dude, full circle.
Yes.
I love it.
Mm,
We love it.
we do.
No notes.
We love a full circle. Everything went good.
No freaking notes, man.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
Yes.
I ignored my sister-in-law's hurtful words for years, but this time I exploded.
I can't take it anymore.
I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 30 male, for 1 year. We dated for 2 years and were engaged for 1, so together a total of 4 years. I'm a black woman and my husband is Korean American. By the way, this comes from username, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I grew up in Europe, moved to the States for work after uni, and met my now husband. At first, we were just friends. One of the girls in my office introduced me to her friend group when I moved here, since I don't know anyone. Anyway, my in-laws were very welcoming. My husband has a big family, and we got along well, which I loved since I also come from a big family, being the oldest of 5. I love to cook for my family and friends, so the first time I met his parents, I made an effort to learn a little bit about their culture and cooked some Korean dishes.
Lovely.
That's so sweet. My husband wanted to host his family, so I agreed. I asked him if I could cook, but he told me we could just order some takeout. I told him absolutely not. My mother would disown me if she heard that the first time I met my in-laws, I served them takeout. Come the dinner, present were my parents-in-law, my husband's brothers, and their partners. My husband is the middle child. His older brother is married, and his younger brother came with his girlfriend. Dinner was coming to an end when my mother-in-law told me she was happy her son found someone and that she loved my cooking. I was happy until my sister-in-law, older brother's wife, started making nasty comments like, she's probably not going to last, so why make an effort to be nice?
Yikes.
What?
I hope your partners shut that down real quick.
That's terrible. Everyone heard the comments, but tried to distract me. My father-in-law made a joke about my sister-in-law's cooking skills in Korean. I sneered and he noticed. He asked me if I could speak Korean and I said yes.
Ooh.
Slow. I explained how I always loved to learn new languages and that I lived in Korea for 3 years when I was younger, when my dad was assigned to work at our country's embassy in Korea. The hurtful comments kept going for a long time to the point I almost called off my wedding.
Whoa. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, if they're gonna keep going and your partner's bringing you around these people that are, or this person that's
I hope
being
he
really
was shutting
awful.
it down.
Yeah.
It was affecting my mental health. And before you guys ask, why not just go no contact? My husband's family has a tradition to have family lunch every Saturday, and everyone's presence is mandatory. Baby brother-in-law is getting married. Yes, the same girl from when we met. I love them both like they are my own siblings. Since my baby sister-in-law doesn't have any family in the country and we actually became like sisters, she asked me to be her maid of honor. I said yes. My mother-in-law, to keep the peace, asked if sister-in-law, the devil's spawn, could be in the wedding party. She told baby sister-in-law that she understood if she wanted to decline, but that girl is such an angel and better person than me. I would have said heck to the no. Anyway, fast forward to yesterday. At the bachelorette party, we decided to have dinner and pre-drinks at my house. We were all having fun drinking when I noticed devil's spawn sister-in-law was missing.
Where is she? Where is she?
I went to look for her and found her in my closet.
No.
I asked her what she was doing, and she said nothing and left.
I literally would be like, turn out your freaking pockets, little thief.
She, you don't think she like messed with like a wedding dress or the maid of honor dress or something?
Something.
I came back down.
Itching powder. I don't know.
I came back downstairs and rejoined the party. The girls asked me when I was planning on having kids. Just as I was about to answer, Devil's Spawn's sister-in-law goes, "She's probably just waiting for her green card so she can divorce my husband." As in OP's husband.
Literally, if your husband is there for any of these interactions, he should be like, get out.
So hard shutting
Literally,
these down.
like, get out.
Yeah.
Or if he's not there, then you should go tell your husband and be like, your sister said that.
With the booze and all the rage I'd been keeping inside, I exploded. I told her nobody likes her. We all tolerate her only because we adore her husband. I said she's just a bitter woman with a total of 2 friends and a family that doesn't even want her around. She got up to slap me. I grabbed her wrist and told her to get the F out of my house.
Yes.
Good for you. After she left, we tried to go back to the festivities, but no one was in the mood. I woke up to a bunch of texts from my brother-in-law, older brother, saying he'd had enough of me bullying his wife.
What?
He said he thought I was a better person, blah, blah, blah.
Man has been very lied to.
I showed my husband the text Devil's Spawn was sending him and his brother. My husband called his brother and told him to stop, and that before making any judgments, he should hear both sides since he knows who he married. Now my parents-in-laws have been involved and scheduled a family meeting. What was supposed to be a magical week for baby brother-in-law and baby sister-in-law turned into a crap show because I couldn't hold my tongue. So am I the a-hole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house?
No.
Nope. Nope.
If she's gonna talk crap, then she gets out.
Those are such horrible comments to say to people.
Really
Like,
awful.
What?
Bye. Why would you even want to be here if you hate OP so much?
Yeah. You do sound miserable, sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Update. So we all went to the family meeting. My mother-in-law started by thanking me and baby sister-in-law for coming. She knew we did not want to be there, but wanted us there for our partners. Devil's Spawn and brother-in-law arrived. We all sat down, and my father-in-law asked me to start and explain my side of things, since Devil's Spawn had made her husband call his parents to tell them what I did. I told everything I'd been holding inside since the beginning. I explained that at some point I wanted to walk away from my husband because I couldn't take it anymore. Devil Spawn tried to interrupt me several times, but my in-law told her she could either shut up or leave. After me, baby sister-in-law told her side of things, and that she knew my mother-in-law wanted Devil Spawn in the bridal party to make peace and to get everyone to get along. But she didn't want someone like Devil Spawn near her wedding because she'd find a way to make it about her, and she didn't want to be associated with a person like that. My mother-in-law was shocked when I showed her the text messages I'd gotten from Devil Spawn. I have most of the texts she sent me over the years. My mom is a judge, so she always told me and my siblings to keep records of everything. Brother-in-law, Devil Spawn's husband, was very quiet. My husband turned to him and asked, "Do you still believe your wife is the one being bullied?" He asked to be excused and just left.
Sounds like no.
Devil Spawn ran after him. Well, baby sister-in-law and brother-in-law's wedding happened. It was amazing. We had a great time. Since they're only starting their lives now, they could only afford a honeymoon in the country. So me and hubby decided to surprise them on their wedding day. We pulled them aside and offered them an all-expenses-paid trip to Italy since baby sister-in-law had always wanted to visit.
Dang, that's nice.
So
Very
nice.
good gift.
Jeez.
All expenses paid?
To
Wow.
Italy.
Dang.
Oh. On to the drama. 'Cause apparently we haven't hit the drama yet.
What? Wasn't that the drama?
Hasn't it been resolved? Isn't everything great? Right? Last week, brother-in-law, Devil Spawn, soon-to-be ex-husband,
Whoa.
called me and asked if he could come over to talk to me and my husband. I said yes. He came over and explained he's getting a divorce. He found out that Devil Spawn bullied someone in college to the point the person tried to take their own life.
Oh my gosh. How does she rationalize that?
Oh my God.
How do you rationalize that?
I'm so glad that brother-in-law is not rationalizing it
yeah,
and is like,
he's
I'm
oh,
out.
I'm out. Bye.
Her parents cut her off when she would make comments like that to the kids they fostered. Wow. Brother-in-law told us a lot more, but yeah, you guys get the picture. Brother-in-law moved out and rented an apartment. Now Devil Spawn thinks it's my fault. She's gone so far as to show up at my office and scream, has been following me, and is getting so unhinged that my husband has been taking me to work and picking me up afterwards. We're in the process of requesting a restraining order.
Smart. You know what's also smart? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit more, but wow, she's the worst.
She sucks.
Saying that to not only to someone that, like, the person that almost took their life because of
Yeah.
it, but to kids that you're fostering as
Yeah.
well.
Wow. Like, you're a monster.
Fully brother-in-law was married to a monster.
Yeah, glad he's getting divorced, though. And glad everyone, kind of is seeing her for who she is. And hopefully,
It
because
sounded like they kind of always did, but for some reason no one was stopping it.
they said that the only reason that they keep her around is because they love the husband. So now maybe they can,
But husband was in their family always. So I guess they just had to tell husband.
yeah. And so now he knows.
Come on, guys.
And they can get rid of this lady.
I'm glad we got there eventually. Edit, just to clarify a few things. My parents-in-law tried to stay out of it. Even though they did see a few things, they never said anything because they didn't want to choose sides. They never thought it was this bad. Both mother-in-law and father-in-law have been apologizing since we all sat down. I told them I understood why they didn't say anything, but I wish they had. Then again, I hate confrontations and let it go longer than I should have. For what Devil Spawn was doing in my closet, nothing is missing. So I believe she was looking for my maid of honor dress, which was at baby sister-in-law's apartment, thankfully. My husband wanted to cut off his family for my sake, but I never allowed it. I also come from a big family, and not everyone gets along all the time. I never wanted him to have to choose between them or me, but he was always on my side and spoke up. For those saying this post is all lies because we paid for their honeymoon, both me and my husband make good money. We normally make a trip out of the country per year in October to go see my family, and because it's around my great-grandma's birthday. We won't go this year because we chose to use that money for baby sister-in-law and baby brother-in-law. That's the end of that story. My sister-in-law stole my written book and made millions.
No, that should be your money.
I, 24 female, write as a hobby, and I like sharing my short stories with my small following. I do want to publish one day, but I want to make it perfect first since it's not edited yet. The unfinished book we're talking about came from an idea that I started to build when I was in middle school. I just finished it last year, but because of the vid, I was forced to put that project aside to ensure steady employment with my day job. By the way, this comes from Stolen Ideas. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my brother and sister-in-law came to visit me to introduce their baby daughter about 6 months ago. Sister-in-law just thrust her baby into my arms, even though I lack even the barest knowledge on how to hold a baby. The baby was fussy, and my brother helped calm her down while sister-in-law said she wanted to use the bathroom to pump front airbag milk. They left later, and I didn't think anything of it until recently when I was told sister-in-law had published a book, and it had been a while since she published. Self-publishing is not as time-consuming as traditional publishing. I don't doubt my sister-in-law's intelligence because she is a smart woman, but I've always heard how she dislikes books because they're boring and drag on. I wanted to show my support and bought a copy, only to realize it's way too similar to mine. I compared it to my copy of unpublished work. It's obvious it's been edited and proofread for fluidity and clarity. I was angry, and I admit I overreacted by confronting her over the phone. She said my screaming was upsetting her and hung up on me. It was a back and forth battle with phone numbers to get the truth. By this time, my parents and her parents were involved. Then the truth boiled over, probably from stress and being caught, since I do have my copy and detailed notes of my progress in world building and in-depth characters for a second book. She said that my brother and her needed the money because they have a child and being stuck in their house threatened their work. She said she would give me 75% of the continuous royalty to settle it. I said no, and told her to give me the pseudonym she put the book under and take the amount she paid for editing, proofreading, and the marketing ads. She said I was taking away her daughter's college funds. She just lost her job, and her unemployment check hadn't come yet. My brother is the sole supporter. I threatened to sue, and everyone is furious with me. I believe I will proceed with the lawsuit. Sorry for the grammar, I'm writing with anger. An unnecessary edit because there are just too many ugly messages. To those who think this is fake because of incoherency, grammar, and structure, it's why editors and proofreaders exist. They're hired to fix the manuscript before publishing. I'm writing unproofread because I like to write, but I'm not a professional writer. English is my second language. To those who think it's impossible to make a lot of profit from a one-time self-published book with an unheard of author, Sister-in-Law has a decent following. When her followers buy the book, it climbs the Amazon rankings, which makes it more visible to other buyers interested in the same genre. I came here not for legal advice at first because I was struggling morally. I needed help, not to have people attack me in private messages and in the comments. To those who only commented that this is fake or how I can't be a writer who fails at basic writing skills, if you do not have anything useful to say, please kindly keep your irrelevancy to yourself. And we have an edit.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think suing would be the right move?
I think at least suing for the pseudonym.
Yeah.
The name it's written under. Pseudonym's the
Yeah.
word. Because that is your story.
Yeah.
And stuff. And if you were planning a whole second one, being
Right.
able to publish it under the same name is pretty important.
Right. Right.
Sister-in-law was and still is a mommy blogger. She started a blog when she found out about her pregnancy, so it became a weekly double update journey that turned into a full-on mommy blog now. She has a decent following and makes money from ads, but I don't think it's a full-time worker salary. I gather from the book's review on social media platforms, not including sales data to avoid policy violation, that her followers bought the book because they support Sister-in-Law. I know it's bitter of me, but I can't help feeling offended that I worked hard on it only to have it brought out not under the intention of being interested. It's how the book climbed ranks. Her followers bought it and brought them visibility. And we have an update.
Boy.
Get into it.
Let's do it.
I've taken your suggestions and have one more talk with sister-in-law without involving other family members. The deal was the same as before. Give me the name she published under. Take whatever money she used to publish and advertised. She insisted that I take the 75% royalty because her followers are expecting a sequel from the book. I told her that I will not allow her to make a profit off my work that I put so much effort into. This morning, about an hour ago, she had told my parents and her parents about me not compromising for the sake of her family and her daughter. Now it's me that's the bad guy. My parents treat sister-in-law like a daughter, so they told me that either accept her offer or they essentially disown me.
What?
Saying families don't sue each other and we're supposed to support each other.
Well,
Families also don't steal each other's books.
yeah. That you're not supporting me. That's like my career. You have this
Right.
whole like mommy blogger thing, but this is like I'm writing. This is my thing.
Right, I've been working on this forever.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat surprised and somewhat not because I never grew up to be someone they're satisfied with, and sister-in-law has traits that they dream of me having. I feel like a stranger in my own family.
Ugh.
Final update? Question mark? Which we're like not even halfway, so I think we're gonna have
Probably
more.
not. Yeah.
I've thought it over and I'm still thinking about it. I love my brother and my parents, but they are not supportive of me. They don't care about my feelings because I'm tearing this family apart. My sister-in-law is still very much upset and angry at me, but frankly, I've given her a fair compromise. If my family and sister-in-law don't take my feelings into consideration, then I will not either. I will be taking time to myself and not speak to them until they apologize. I'm going to gather all the text messages, can't do anything about the phone calls, and I will see if I can borrow some money from my friends to get a lawyer. If not, then I'll think of something. I'm going to sue her, not to get back at my sister-in-law and family, but because it's my property and for the disrespect she has shown. Thank you all for your support. I never expected so many things to change overnight, but it did. I'm angry, resentful, and bitter. I don't think I can convince my parents and brother that she is in the wrong because she did it for her daughter's future. I'll probably not have a niece anymore, so maybe that's why I still have inklings of doubt. Part of me wonders if intellectual property is worth losing my family. Verdict, not the a-hole. Thank God.
Yeah, right?
And we have some comments, but how you feeling?
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, if they've never really supported you and they've always kind of nitpicked something, then I think it's like, well, like, take this time to kind of stand by yourself, stand by your career.
Right. She stole something from you, and they're just like, she has a daughter.
Right.
I'm your daughter.
Yeah, literally.
You have one too.
Right.
Commenter 1, not the a-hole. You need a lawyer, whether you decide to sue or not. Even if you decide to settle without suing, you need a contract memorializing the agreement, and you need to file for a federal copyright registration ASAP. If you don't know how to find an attorney, call your local city or state bar association and ask for a referral to a copyright attorney. Commenter 2, also shout out Commenter 1, great advice. Commenter 2, not the a-hole. It's your work that she's claiming is hers. You have proof that it's your work. If you didn't buy a copy and read it, you'd never have known. Commenter 3, you are so not the a-hole. Numerous people have either lost their job, companies, or are facing economic turmoil. However, that is in no way a reason as to why you should steal someone's life's work. Girl, buckle up, get your lawyer, because this is your right. You are not responsible for their child or her future. We have another update, as we knew we would.
Of course.
3 weeks later.
Yep.
Let's just go for it.
Let's do it.
After speaking with my pre-law friend, I decided to go the legal route. I reiterated my compromise with sister-in-law and my brother, but he has fully taken her side. My parents warned me that I'd be disowned and I'd be gone to them if I'm willing to stoop so low. I hired a lawyer and given all the details on my side. My lawyer said she needs my unedited manuscript for the book and my sister-in-law's published book, along with the copy sister-in-law sent to have it proofread and edited, because the published book has different parts changed. My lawyer would need the unedited version, which sister-in-law should still have in the transaction she did with her editor and proofreader. We took the risk to ask sister-in-law for the unedited copy she sent to her editor and proofreader, despite the chance of having her feign, I don't remember their names, I don't have their contacts anymore, I don't want to, etc.
Such BS.
I told sister-in-law that we will go through the route of having to use third-party notarization to ensure no foul play on either part. Have one individual look at my unedited manuscript and the one she sent to her hired editor and proofreader. Once I told her that, she must have realized I was not bluffing. Sister-in-law and my brother-in-law accepted the compromise of I take the pseudonym, the royalties, with evidence of sold copies. I stipulated that sister-in-law must put a message out to her followers on her blog that she stole from me and not a single word in the book is hers. I thank the Redditors for suggesting that. She is clearly pissed off and disgusted with me for doing this to my own family. I threatened her with further legal proceedings if she doesn't do it. No lawsuit happened, but I'm glad I got a professional option just in case. As words got back to my parents of what I did and how dare I get a lawyer to punish sister-in-law because her blog followers will surely lose trust in her and future revenue, I told them and my parents that if they have anything to say, use my business email. I'm done with them. They treated an outsider, sister-in-law, 1 month into dating my brother, better than they ever did to me. I don't need that negativity dragging me down. I'm happier, more free with my opinions, and I don't have to feel the need to compete with everything sister-in-law does just to get my parents to love me a little more than a daughter in her name. I have my friends. They've always been more of a family unit than my biological ones. I knew I was going to lose something coming out of this, but I didn't expect I'd be okay with the disappointment and hurt. By the way, you can never lose out on listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left.
I think this is great.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, because it's like, yes, this is your family, and maybe you, like, even if you haven't had a good relationship with them, maybe you want to, you know, try to salvage something there. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, girl, like, this is literally my job. You can't steal all of this. Tell all of your followers that you're such an amazing thing. And then, like, when I want you to, like, I threaten legal action if you don't, you know, give me what I want.
Right. And then to be like, you have to make the second one for me, too.
Yeah, it's like, no.
What?
That is so not how it's gonna work here.
Yeah, you can have 75% of your own work.
Yeah.
What?
Like, no. And yes, you need to tell your followers the truth. And sorry, if they lose trust in you, then that's not my fault.
That was your doing.
You lied.
Consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
My goodness.
We've got a little bit left. Thank you, everyone. And no, I will not be telling anyone what the name of the book is, because I only came here to get a moral judgment and update everyone on what happened. Please don't think I'm using this for clout. The book will not be promoted on Reddit. Not then, not now, and not in the future either. You should have put it there. You would have gotten book sales, girl.
Right?
Little update on the apology. It's not out. She said she needs more time to prepare her emotional state, and she's overworked with their child, but she'll let me know when I can have an apology. Some relevant comments. Commenter 1, wow, they really cared more about her future than the fact that she was a liar and a thief. Screw all of them. Did she make the blog post? OP says, not yet. She has a week to make it in case she wants to use a PR team to lessen the damage of her name. OP clarifies the timeline of her brother and sister-in-law's relationship. Sorry for the confusion, my mind is running on fumes. When my brother introduced sister-in-law to my parents after 1 month of dating, she was only his girlfriend at the time. My parents were, I guess, elated to have her over more after they asked her what she did for a living. Sister-in-law and my brother broke off their engagement twice for personal reasons and wrong timing, so I wasn't sure how to describe their love timeline in a non-confusing manner.
Whoa.
Commenter 2, I'm glad it worked out in some way for you. Never understood the you don't do that to family people in these situations. It's okay for a family to steal or do something horrible to you, but if you retaliate in a logical and legal manner, suddenly it's family you need to forgive and forget. I'm glad you cut them out. Let's see how much they care about family when she starts stealing from them. Or better yet, when they have to sacrifice for her because family. OP responds, to them, sister-in-law could do no wrong. I think to them, me being their daughter has more flexible room to offend than losing sister-in-law. She's my parents' gem, and they can flaunt to the other relatives. It's a weird mindset. My brother is their pride, so technically sister-in-law is also an adjacent pride of theirs. OP on receiving profits from the book. I received the name the book is published under, and every penny the book sold on from the moment the password is in my hands. Tax information changed, and linking bank account changed. It's how sister-in-law had set up her receiving payment method. OP on the profits from the previous sales. Will sister-in-law get anything? OP says, I'll receive that too. I'm taking every cent from the moment the book went live when I have full control of the book and pseudonyms. She doesn't get a dime. Previous revenues will be given to me. Commenter 3 says, Can you define huge profit in a rough dollar amount? Respectfully, very few self-published books have made a huge profit. OP says, I have looked at the sales report when it first went live. Her pretty decent-sized followers brought nearly 7K on the first day.
Wow.
The immediate sales made the book climb in rank, and that meant more visibility. The book is no longer available for purchase the moment I unpublished it. OP on if she decides to re-edit and publish the book. The book is tainted in my mind. It's hard to look at it without thinking of sister-in-law. And it probably will never be as satisfying when it's re-edited and published.
No.
That's the end of that story.
That's so
No.
sad.
I hope that in a couple years you can get past that and
Right.
release it.
Right. Like act as if it's like your child that was like kidnapped and you've gotten it back. It's like, you know, yes, it was a terrible situation that happened, but you know, now you can protect your story again and have control over it. Hopefully you could come around to it.
I refused to be tattooed by my sister-in-law, and it deeply offended her.
Just don't get tattoos so you don't get into these situations.
Recently, I, 22 female, went to my girlfriend's 21 female family Christmas party. I have known her family for a while, and we have all gotten along pretty well, but normally we don't participate in Secret Santa. This year, we decided that we would. For the sake of brevity, I will be referring to my girlfriend's family as my in-laws, even though we are not married. By the way, this comes from user FitLiterature6705, and if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you go on down to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Vincent.
We're here to give good advice goofily, and Vincent is huge. And,
Yeah, he
but
is.
we don't know everything, except that Vincent is huge. So if you know more than that, just let us know in the comments.
Please comment.
OP says, my sister-in-law joined the family not too long ago after knowing my girlfriend's brother for only a couple of months before marrying him. I do not know her very well, but overall, we have gotten along whenever I have been around her. She ended up getting me for Secret Santa, and the gift she gave me was a sort of coupon for $100 off of a tattoo done by her. At the time, I tried to react politely and did not make a big deal out of it. My girlfriend and I are both pretty heavily tattooed, but truthfully, I'm extremely picky about my tattoos. As an artist myself, or an artiste perhaps, I place a lot of value on tattoo artists who hand create my concepts instead of copying existing designs. I've been going to the same tattoo artist since I started getting tattooed, and I absolutely love her work, her style, and watching her improvement reflected on my skin. I have nearly 2 full sleeves done by her at this point. On the surface, the gift was thoughtful, and I thanked my sister-in-law for it. The rest of the night went on without any issues, and nothing felt tense or awkward. When I got home later, I decided to scroll through her tattoo Instagram out of curiosity. The simple truth is I'm not a fan of her work. Most of her art appears to be taken directly from Pinterest and traced, which is something I intentionally avoid when choosing tattoos. My girlfriend also looked through her work and came to the same conclusion I did. Neither of us really wanted me to get a tattoo done by her. I was not planning to bring this up at all, but a few days later, while we were having lunch with the family, she brought up when she could fit me into her schedule. That put me on the spot in a way I was not prepared for. I am terrible at breaking bad news to people and tend to be a people pleaser to a fault. I told her that I was not sure if I would be getting a tattoo done by her. I also said that her work was good, but it just was not my personal preference. I genuinely thought that would be the end of the conversation. She walked away after that, and I continued talking with my in-laws like normal. Shortly afterward, her husband came out absolutely furious. He started calling me selfish, spoiled, and ungrateful for not accepting her gift in front of the family. My girlfriend immediately argued with him in my defense and even said that the gift was crappy, and if her sister-in-law really wanted to gift me a tattoo, she should have just given me the money and let me decide who I wanted to tattoo me. We ended up leaving shortly after. This morning, I received a text from my mother-in-law telling us that we were uninvited from their New Year's party. I am honestly still in shock about the entire situation. I never thought it would turn into something this serious. My sister-in-law also made a point to block me on almost every social media platform. My girlfriend is angry on my behalf, but I cannot help feeling guilty for not accepting the gift. Even with that guilt, I still do not want a tattoo done by her. I never intended to insult or embarrass anyone, and I truly did not think being honest would cause this much fallout. Am I the a-hole? And we do have some comments. And you know, I think you could have gone around this by just being like, yeah, I'll get a tattoo. And then you show up and you got the $100 off. And she's just like, what do you want? And you're just like, I just want a tiny dot. I want a dot 1 centimeter in width And that'll be free, right? That can't be more than $100. Yeah, I want it wherever. It's a dot.
Like a freckle.
That would probably be more insulting,
That would
actually. So,
Yeah.
no, these.
just take it.
Do you think these people are emotionally intelligent, Riley? Do they sound emotionally intelligent?
Only way to indicate if they are emotionally intelligent is fiance of the sister-in-law. Have you gotten a tattoo from her? It might be a little deeper. Maybe no one wants a tattoo from sister-in-law, and she's just been doing on pigs this whole time.
Just pig skinning.
Yeah,
There's just a bunch of pigs with neck tattoos
yeah.
yeah.
She's highly specialized in her field.
Yeah. I feel like what I would do is like I just accept it and just like maybe never use it. Because like what's the sunk cost? Not really anything. Like, oh, it's kind of a bummer of a gift. Take it on the cheap.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
never use it.
That was the problem, is she got like put on the spot. She's like at the family lunch, and then she's like, yeah, so I have availability now. She had to be like, well, that's funny because
I'm busy.
I'm not gonna get a tattoo from you.
She
was polite.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
She sometimes she can't handle the truth.
That seems like where she is right now.
Yeah.
Comment number 1. I shall gift you my time. This is the ultimate narcissismo gift, regardless of industry. You are not the a-hole. Reply. I shall give you the gift of paying me to use your body to practice on, is more the vibe I'm getting. Comment 2 says, maybe re-gift the coupon to mother-in-law and she can get tattooed by her. It's a permanent design on your body. Of course, you have the right to be choosy, not the a-hole. Comment 3, not the a-hole. Although I have no tattoos, I have a lot of friends who have them. They only get tattooed by artists they are comfortable with. You're putting a permanent mark on your body. You have to trust and like the person, and trust that the new piece would be cohesive with your existing artwork. While I think her gift was well-intentioned for her to assume you want a piece by her without any prior conversation or consultation is wild. And there's an update. I think it'd be best if they just broke up, because they only knew each other for like 2 months before they got engaged. That's crazy. That's crazy.
You're moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is how she's behaving.
Do you think they're gonna last after this? Also, why is the whole family on their side too?
Yeah, that's. You know what? I bet they just already don't like OP's girlfriend. Lady lovers.
That
Could be. Could be they don't like it. It can't be the tattoos because, this new sister-in-law is a tattoo artist, so it can't just be about the tattoos.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to throw that out there. I haven't really gotten any hint of that though.
No, but
it's
why?
a possibility. It's a possibility.
Why?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Why would they be so quick to defend this person they've only known for 2 months?
Opie, are you a little snobby sometimes? That could be it. We're like, oh, nothing makes you happy. You need the right brand of shoes. Your shoes can't be Nikes from Kohl's. True story that happened in my family.
Nikes from Kohl's versus Nikes from the Nike store.
Mm-hmm. There's a difference.
I found out recently a lot of the stuff that, well, I can't go into that. Let's just get into the update.
Let's get into it.
So, it's been a bit since all of this first happened, and there have been quite a few updates since New Year's Day. My girlfriend and I enjoyed our holidays, and once things settled down, we decided to visit my mother-in-law in person. We explained our side of the story in more detail, especially since what my sister-in-law shared with her after we left did not include the full context. Mother-in-law admitted that she was not particularly surprised by that and apologized for how she reacted. Mother-in-law eventually agreed with us that the gift itself was in fact a bad gift overall. She also acknowledged that immediately siding with my sister-in-law was the wrong move. That conversation helped clear the air between us, but it was not the end of everything that came out afterward. What happened next honestly shocked both of us. I have never met my sister-in-law's family, but one of her sisters reached out to me after visiting them. She told me that my sister-in-law had been twisting the story heavily and had done similar things in the past. According to her sister-in-law had been telling her family that my girlfriend and I were hitting on her, making her uncomfortable, and calling us slurs, among other accusations involving other members of her in-law family. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms, just so you know. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen all the live long day and night. And there's a little bit left here.
So she's spreading lies. She's a liar.
She's spreading slurs.
Lies and slurs.
Slurs and lies and lies and slurs.
Sounds like she's not quite connected to reality.
Yeah. I feel like that might be a common thing if you're, getting married to somebody in 2 months. Not that that automatically makes you a delusional crazy person, but there has to be some level of impulsiveness or just brazenness to just immediately marry somebody in less than 90 days. I mean, that's not even 90-day fiance. That's sub 90-day fiance. Let's finish this story. My girlfriend and I have been together consistently since high school and have only ever seen sister-in-law at family gatherings. I know for a fact that neither of us has ever made romantic or inappropriate gestures towards her. She also never expressed being uncomfortable around us at any point. While we did not know her very well, things had always seemed fine until this situation. Apparently, this kind of behavior is common for her. After learning all of this, mother-in-law apologized again and made it clear that she does not intend to continue inviting sister-in-law to family events. Some people suggested that I give the gift card to mother-in-law, but instead, my girlfriend decided to give it to her brother. As of now, we don't know if he plans to actually let his wife tattoo him, but based on what we have heard, most people are avoiding it. That includes her own sister. Hope you all enjoyed your holidays, and happy late New Year. And that's the end. My mother-in-law is obsessed with my husband's ex, so I'm alienating her from my child.
Just stop talking to the ex. It's simple.
My mother-in-law has completely lost it, and I am honestly shocked at how far she's gone. My husband and I are trying to conceive, and we have already decided she will not be part of our child's life. I really need to know if anyone else has had to cut off a future grandparent before even having kids. And by the way, this comes from user Other Ganesh 7557, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers except for how to conceive, I guess. But if you know all the stuff we don't know, and you're like, these fools need to know these things, just tell us in the comments, please. So, here's the rundown. A few months ago, during what was supposed to be a calm conversation about boundaries with my husband's high-conflict baby mama, my mother-in-law actually threatened me. Then she acted like it was no big deal. There was no apology, no accountability, and no acknowledgement at all. She just pretended that it never happened. She constantly inserts herself into my husband's co-parenting. She sends high-conflict baby mama updates, photos, and full play-by-plays of our home and our time with stepdaughter. My husband has told her multiple times to stop, but she argues every single time. She insists she is helping stepdaughter and claims that the baby mama has the potential to be a great mom if someone would just pull it out of her. Like she sees herself as some kind of savior. My husband tells me all the time that the way his ex behaves with him and their daughter is exactly how his mother behaved when he was growing up. Knowing that, I guess it shouldn't surprise me how obsessed she is with baby mama. It feels like baby mama is her prodigy, and mother-in-law sees herself reflected in her. That dynamic alone is disturbing. Then she casually dropped that she would let baby mama move in with her if she ever needed a place. Baby mama is 31 and has never had her own place and bounces between boyfriend homes. And even her own parents refuse to let her move back in. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law is practically ready to adopt her. At the same time, she treats me like I am the outsider. Speaking of treating me like an outsider, she cannot seem to call me by my actual name.
What?
Most of the time, she calls me by baby mama's name, and she always does it in front of stepdaughter. That alone really set my husband off. Instead of correcting herself, she decided to give me a nickname, calling me Nuera, which means daughter-in-law in Spanish. Then she told my stepdaughter that Nuera is my name now. I was beyond pissed. It genuinely feels like she's trying to erase me as a person and replace me with some role she's created in her head. It is demeaning and unsettling. She has done this same strange dynamic with one of my husband's exes years ago. She hated that woman during the relationship and then became best friends with her after they broke up. They are still friends to this day. The pattern is extremely obvious. Baby mama had my mother-in-law blocked everywhere until my husband decided to go back to court recently. Suddenly, baby mama has added mother-in-law on Facebook and started responding to her texts.
I'm sure she is more than happy to receive all the information about us that mother-in-law is providing. Even though we have nothing to hide, it is still incredibly annoying and invasive. She is also incredibly two-faced on social media. On Facebook, where baby mama can see, she posts about my husband without including a single photo of me. On TikTok, where baby mama cannot see, she suddenly posts tons of photos of me, my husband, and stepdaughter. The contrast is impossible to ignore. She even hijacked our wedding day.
What?
How did that happen?
What kind of... We need that mother-in-law expert to come back. Dr. Tracy.
Yeah, I think we can just, put this one in timeout. Volcano timeout.
Put the mother-in-law in timeout?
We're going back to the volcano, folks.
Ooh, I love those.
But on a actual real level, just freaking ignore this late. Why? She does this to get at you. So if you don't let it get at you, she fails. You know? We eloped in June and told her repeatedly that we wanted to go straight home afterwards and spend time alone together. She asked every single day leading up to the ceremony anyway. While we were taking pictures, she decided on her own that we would all go eat together as a big, happy family. Everyone felt uncomfortable, especially since my husband's dad and stepmom's side of the family can't stand her. She was their high-conflict ex decades ago, and the tension was obvious. It was supposed to be our day, and she made it about herself. Why did you let her? Why did we let her?
Makes no sense.
And we say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the thing that we had said we were going to do. So you're free to do whatever you want. Since August, I have been basically no contact unless absolutely necessary. Even so, she continues trying to wedge herself into our lives. She texts my husband asking what I want for Christmas so she can surprise me, which only happens because I won't speak to her directly. She keeps trying to make holiday plans that I want nothing to do with. And by the way, I want you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or literally wherever. Just search OK Storytime. That's the name of our show. That's what you're watching right now.
Really?
Yes.
I was watching Jeopardy. Bro. Good hangout with Jeopardy.
If we could get Ken Jennings on the show, I would.
That would be sick.
There's no way, though. We'll never get Ken Jennings.
You know who actually never
You
get on
say
the show?
Who?
Alex Trebek.
Oh.
Why'd you just make me so sad?
I love that dude. I didn't even know he did Jeopardy. I just knew he did the old people commercials. Great.
The AARP commercials. You loved him for his performances as the AARP spokesman.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You just like that he stood up for the elders?
Yep, he was a good guy, strong guy.
Man, okay.
Anyway,
He also
sorry to do
donated a
that.
mountain. He owned a mountain and he donated it.
To who?
The people.
What?
He bought a
people?
mountain and he gave it away. Name one other man who's bought a mountain and given it away besides
Griffith
J.
Park.
Griffith. Yeah,
Yeah.
besides that guy.
He is also clinically insane.
Oh, I want to hear more about that.
Oh, we'll get into it later, but I think people want to hear the story.
Okay. Last year, she even gave baby mama a Christmas present despite talking trash about her the second she left the room.
And it was a tattoo for $100.
Tattoo, $100 off. Between the threats, the boundary stomping, the obsession with baby mama, the name nonsense, the manipulation, and the constant interference, we have made our decision. She will not be involved in our future child's life at all. No visits, no access, and no grandmother role. Has anyone else cut out a grandparent before even having kids? How did it go? Did you feel guilty at first, or did you feel more relieved? And there are some comments here.
It's time.
Yeah,
It's time.
I think this whole story was just why did we ever put up with her? Of course you're cutting her off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I go by the rule of how often do I see certain family members, everyone gets two. I get to see everyone twice a year. If I see you more, it's because 1, I'm happy when I see you. Bring joy to my life. 2, you're in my immediate family. But if you're not in my immediate family, you still bring absolute joy in my life, and I love you so much. If they don't fall in those categories, then we might not need to see them as often.
Yeah. And this person makes no one happy, clearly. Comment 1. You both need to go no contact with her. Take her off all socials and stop letting her see stepdaughter. She is toxic and jealous. Opie says, this is what we plan on doing eventually. My husband bought his car from his stepdad, so until he pays that off, he has to stay in contact, but we are working in a plan to pay it off as quickly as possible. A reply says, I would find a way to only communicate with stepdad and only about the car. OP says, that's a great idea in theory, But mother-in-law controls the house, and his stepdad pretty much doesn't do anything unless it's run by her. They are also extremely petty, so if my husband were to fully cut communication from mother-in-law, they would take the car back, as it's not in my husband's name yet. Comment 2 says, why wait until you have kids? Cut her out now. She doesn't seem to like you, and she's only making your life miserable. She's crossed every possible boundary you've put in place, so she doesn't get access to your life anymore. Opie says, I'm pretty much no contact with her right now. My husband only responds to her when necessary. I forgot to mention that she is my stepdaughter's Girl Scout troop leader. Oh, God.
Can we have her step down from that?
What a lady in a this lady molding the youth horrifies me. Until stepdaughter stops showing interest in that, which has already somewhat begun, that's the only time we see mother-in-law. Another reply says, maybe find a different troop if possible. And Opie says she is also over all of the troops in the area. We live in a rural area in Texas, so everyone knows everyone. And she's already made threats before if we didn't let stepdaughter participate. Reply says, oh dang, I'm in Texas too. I know how that goes. I hope y'all can eventually actually get away from her. And that's the end of that story. So we've officially gotten away from her, because that's the end.
We'll never hear from her again. Unless the only reason we would hear about her again is if she does probably 5 more really crazy things and has a really good update. Then I'd want to hear back from her again. But yeah, we don't have to hear back from her again.
I feel like they're going to try to take that car from you no matter what. You know? I think you got to really, really iron out getting that to be your property legally on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Because she going to try to take that back.
My sister-in-law refused to be my kid's guardian until she found out about the money.
Is this Count Olaf?
My wife, 30s female, and I, 30s male, have 2 kids under the age of 4. We haven't come to a decision on who would be the kids' guardians if something were to happen to us. There are 5 realistic parties. My sister and husband, my sister-in-law single, my second sister single, brother-in-law and girlfriend, long-term relationship, 5 years plus. My father-in-law and mother-in-law. Okay, so there are the 5 parties. By the way, this comes from Barclays Lacjes Courtwe. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we are here to give some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We'd only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. As Opie says, some are closer to our kids than others. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, and sister-in-law are the closest because they live so close. So we decided to ask each of our siblings if they would want the guardianship over the kids. Only my sister-in-law said no because she is younger, upper 20s. And she said she wasn't sure about kids yet. No hard feelings there. Sister-in-law is great with the kids in the aunt role and honestly are the kids' favorite person right now. This weekend, sister-in-law was visiting and the guardianship topic was being discussed. I was pushing for my sister and husband to be the first choice because they are just great people overall and other reasons I won't get into. The condition for anyone we choose is the guardian have to move to our house or stay in town near our father-in-law and mother-in-law. My sister/husband have lived overseas for years and I didn't want the kids to be uprooted. My sister-in-law pointed out they likely wouldn't be willing to do this because they would need new jobs and the cost of moving would be too much. Side note, we live below our means and are big on savings for an early retirement. I quickly stated the guardians wouldn't have to worry about money and I would have them covered. Sister-in-law asked what I meant. At this point, I started to discuss the financial aspect. Between our financials and life insurance policies, whoever took the kids wouldn't have to worry about any expenses. On top of the insurance, I'm planning on setting up our will to cover all expenses for the guardians and the kids. That's so nice. I would leave the kids funds for college and extra for wedding/home or whatever else they choose. For the guardians, I would basically give them our retirement plan with certain conditions. In the end, hopefully anything left would be passed on to our kids. At this point, my sister-in-law said she wanted to be considered for guardianship again. In her words, if I could be a stay-at-home mom, I would take the kids 100%. Well, yes, I would also. On the spot, I said, you already made your decision, and it was no. Whoa, okay. My wife backed up sister-in-law, but I stood firm that sister-in-law already said no. To me, she clearly changed her mind because of the money. Her original decision was no because she wasn't sure about kids yet, not that she couldn't afford kids. Things went back and forth, and it ended a little sour.
Outside of this, I've never had an issue with sister-in-law, and we actually get along really well. I'm debating if I should reconsider or stick by my gut. So, am I the a-hole that I'm not reconsidering my sister-in-law to be a potential guardian for my kids? And there is an edit. Changed sister-in-law saying she wanted to be child-free to being undecided at that time. Showed my wife the post. She is saying the sister-in-law never said she wanted to be child-free, but was undecided on children because of the costs.
Fair.
We have talked to her about how expensive the kids have been, and that is the reason we aren't having anymore. Okay, so you're in the same position. So
yeah.
what-
I
so-
feel like that's totally valid of her then. If it wasn't just because you just specified that it wasn't because she didn't want kids. It was
Yeah.
because she didn't know if she could afford kids.
If I was supposed, like, if all of a sudden I had to take care of my niece and nephew right now, I definitely couldn't afford it.
Absolutely. I'd be like, maybe I'm not the best person for the job
Yeah,
because
I'd be
I
like,
don't have the funds to support 2 kids.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun. I just am not gonna, like, that's why I
you need
don't get a
childcare?
pet. Yeah, that's why I don't get a pet because, well, I mean, I have fish, but, like, fish are fish. All siblings agreed they would move to our town when we first asked around. Not sure if this matters, but if I had a choice before talking to everyone, it would be sister plus husband, sister-in-law, single, brother-in-law plus husband, sister, single, mother-in-law, father-in-law. And there is an update. I think
Wait,
we
there was
said
2
everything.
single sisters.
There's
Which single sister? Oh, it's sister-in-law, single
sister-in-law, yeah. There's sister and husband, and then sister single,
Well, then keep it that way.
and then sister-in-law.
You can just say, hey, like before you had even said that, I decided this, but you would be my second choice.
Yeah,
Just say like that.
if that was, yeah.
Designated survivor, baby.
You're
Go down the
Designated
line.
survivor. All right, time to go to the update. Thought I would give an update on this situation since there's been a few revelations. There was some fallout with my sister-in-law, which I'll get to. Oh no. After further discussion with my wife, we decided her parents would make the best guardians if we were to pass.
They weren't even on the list.
Yeah. No, they were.
Oh. Well, they weren't the first ones on the
father-in-law.
list,
They
though.
were the last on the list.
Oh.
Yeah, father-in-law.
Whoa,
and
we went straight to the designated survivor this time.
yeah, that's kind of weird. For some reason, if they were unable to take the kids, my sister and husband would take over guardianship. They were your first choice, so I don't know what happened here.
Well, I think the sister and husband said that they didn't want to move.
Oh.
I think that was the whole issue, is they didn't
Okay.
want to move.
Okay. We spoke with all of them together, and everyone was on board. I explained the financial part to both mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister, and husband, and there were no issues or concerns. Our family financial advisor worked with our lawyer to set up the financial side. In short, living expenses are paid for, guardians get paid nicely, and the rest gets split between the kids. We noted sister-in-law would be included for family expenses of special occasions and trips/vacations, which we thought was fair since she is a part of the kids' lives already. Now for the fallout with sister-in-law.
Oh boy.
We spoke with sister-in-law separately and explained why we chose the other family members as guardians. It was really about the 2-parent household dynamic. The whole thing about her saying no before learning about the money is an afterthought.
Well, it seemed like that was your first thought.
Yeah.
Because you came on Reddit and said that was your first thought.
Yeah. She wasn't happy with her choice and started explaining why her being a single parent shouldn't be considered. I just explained with all else being equal, we would want a 2-parent household over a single parent. I did say if she were to get into a committed long-term relationship, we would be open to reconsidering. Sister-in-law was upset, but not much else was said. Since the conversation with sister-in-law, things have been strained, unfortunately. With our finances being partially revealed, the relationship with sister-in-law really changed. When she hangs out, she has talked inappropriately to our kids, in my opinion. Stuff like, wouldn't it be great if she was a permanent babysitter? Or wouldn't having her around for family vacations all the time be great? Also talks bad about my sister and husband to the kids. Oh no.
See, now
Okay.
this is an issue.
Yeah, now she's taking it pretty hard, and
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah, now it is a problem. And we have to have another talk about her, about boundaries with her. And, or maybe, stop inviting her around so much.
Yeah. It seems like now she took it really personal and I think maybe she just needs a break.
I think so.
Whenever we get together with our in-laws, sister-in-law expects us to pay for everyone's meals each time. And if we don't pay, there is always a comment from sister-in-law. Okay, well, she's getting rude now. Before we would switch off between father-in-law/mother-in-law and us, sister-in-law never paid for meals. Okay. The straw was sister-in-law's old dog needed something like a $5,000 to $7,500 surgery.
That's too much.
She came straight to us to pay, and I said we would not pay for the surgery.
How old is the dog?
That is valid as
How
well.
old is the dog? Because at a certain point, if your
Yeah.
dog needs
If
a
your dog's like 12 and
needs a $7,500
Yeah.
surgery, the dog is very
Yeah.
old.
yeah.
That is a lot of money that you don't have. She doesn't even have that money.
Mhm. And plus, like older dogs, like it's
what do you-
hard for them to go down and come out.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, surgery is already
Yeah.
hard for any like person or animal,
yeah,
and
so
to
doing it when they're
subject
older
it to
is
an old
bad.
dog is even worse.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that they would, come out
Exactly, yeah. She told us we were heartless to not pay for it. I explained to my wife that was a hard no, and my sister-in-law guilt-tripped my wife. I still refused. Overall, I hate the way my sister-in-law is acting now. By the way, we would love if you could go on over and listen to full episodes with stories just like this by going to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. What's going on here?
I think that it's a bummer because your sister-in-law seems like she is creating a rift between you guys, even though, before you said you guys were close. And it does really seem like she was just in it for the money now, which is sad and tough. But
Yeah.
I think you have another talk with her about boundaries, and if she doesn't agree, if she, makes a fuss, then you low contact.
Yeah, I agreed. If she's starting to be kind of like resentful
Yeah.
and just being like very rude about the whole thing now,
Yeah.
that's not cool. It's
No.
like just because we didn't pick you doesn't mean we love you any less. We're thinking
No.
of our kids and how that
Exactly.
could benefit them.
Yes,
So-
it does.
Means we hate
You
you.
love me less, you love me, you hate me.
If you're not designated survivor, you're not in our life.
We won't be seeing her for a few weeks, so that's nice. Next time she does come by, I'll be speaking with her about how she treats us and the kids now. Basically, she can either stop acting this way around the kids and stop guilting my wife into paying for everything, or we start cutting her out of our family's lives. So that's about where it stands now. Not great. If I had to do it over again, I would have just chosen the guardians without speaking with everyone and let her find out about the financial part after our passings. Oh, that is all.
My sister-in-law told me a confidential secret. Now I'm blamed because it was leaked.
Who leaked it?
My sister-in-law holds a political office in the municipality where we live. During a conversation, she confided in me a strictly confidential piece of information on the condition that I would not tell anyone, not my partner, her brother. However, she also told me that she had shared it with her mother, my mother-in-law, who was likewise not supposed to pass it on. So there's two people who could have leaked it.
So I'm gonna give some advice right now. If you don't want something leaked, you tell no one.
Why did you tell anyone? She's like, I need to tell someone. So for 4 days, the only people who were meant to keep this to themselves were my mother-in-law and me. By the way, this comes from Julie East. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, on the 4th day, today, there was going to be a meeting with the people concerned, and the information would be shared with them anyway. After that, it could also be published within the family. So I promised her I would keep the information to myself, which I did. Edit to add, it was a secret connected to her political position, but not top secret. A strategic one that needed to be confidential for a couple of days. Another edit, small clarification. The commenter, Houndstooth Reader, gave a good example of such a secret that I would like to quote. It's her secret, though. Think, for example, I'm announcing my retirement Tuesday, or I'm announcing my bid for county council this week. The sister-in-law's own news, but not to be shared until a certain date after the involved parties all know. It makes sense that she might want to talk to close friends or family about her own decisions, but doesn't want word to get around too soon. So this is not about strictly confidential information whose disclosure would risk her position or even cause her to break an oath or the law, but it does have an impact on the community and the political environment. The day after our conversation, my partner, her brother, approached me and told me he had a secret piece of information to share. He's like, I know a secret. Do you know a secret?
And she's like,
I might know a secret. What secret do you know?
He's like, well, I can't tell you my secret until you tell me your secret.
Well, what does your secret have to do with?
Ah, dang it. I can't tell you. At first, I didn't react. He kept talking, and it quickly became clear that he was referring to that exact secret. I interrupted him and said that I was already aware of it without specifying what it was about. I then asked him where he had gotten the information, and he said that his mother had told him. A few hours later, my sister-in-law came to visit, and I let her know that unfortunately her mother had passed the secret on. She confronted her, and it led to a huge argument. After that, my partner confronted me and blamed me for the entire situation. He says the family is now in conflict because I didn't keep my mouth shut and told my sister-in-law that the secret had been shared.
The family's in conflict because you shared that someone shared a top secret.
I don't know if I would have told sister-in-law
I would have.
that. So, like, if you found out that someone told Keon,
If my husband came to me and
Yeah.
said,
Do you
oh
know
my
the secret?
God, here's the secret that I just juicily learned
Yeah.
from my mother-in-law. And I was the only other person told that secret.
Yeah.
So I knew the other person was going to be
be like, she
blabbing.
freaking told.
I'm not taking the
That's
fall
true.
if that secret
Oh,
gets
no.
out.
Yeah. Good
That's what I'm
point.
saying. You got to go back to her and be like, just so you
Oh.
know, my husband said he learned it from your mother.
Yeah.
Maybe don't tell her any more secrets.
Fair. It's also important to mention that during the confrontation, my mother-in-law lied.
Ooh.
First, she claimed she hadn't told him anything. Then she said that her husband, their father, who by the way was not supposed to know either, had probably told him. Then she accused me of having told him. Now I'm in a fight with my partner because he gave me confidential information that I wasn't supposed to pass on, but I informed the original source of that confidential information that it had been shared. It's crazy to me that mother-in-law has the audacity to accuse OP right after telling on herself
Right.
that she had told her husband.
No, literally. Because also now it's proving that not only would
Yeah.
it have passed from mother to son, it also would have passed from son to wife.
Yeah.
So now her trail of only one person may
Mhm.
know is 3 people.
3 people. I informed the original source of that confidential information that had been shared. So basically, my partner says I am the a-hole because he told me the secret and I ran to the source. Am I the a-hole for feeling responsible to let my sister-in-law know that the information had been spread, which ultimately caused a huge fight? I would prefer not to have a discussion about whether it was responsible of my sister-in-law to put me in this situation and tell me the secret. She doesn't have many people to talk to, and she knows she can trust me. Sometimes you have to talk to someone and share information in order to relieve pressure.
Yeah. And it's great that she felt like she could share that with you and trust you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you're proving her right by going to her and being like, yeah, this other person that you confided in is not trustworthy.
Fully.
Oh. But we got some comments. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, how does the sister-in-law feel? Does she appreciate that you held a secret, or is she being silent? I feel like she should be defending you as the only person who did not technically blab. You told her that her secret had been blabbed. Since you already knew about the secret, that should have been a safe thing to do. OP says, no, we had a long talk, and she believes me. She realized her mom was lying when she changed her story the second time.
Second time.
Yeah. She couldn't defend me to her brother because they haven't talked yet. The only person he has argued with so far is me. Not cool.
Would I think that it was like maybe an overreaction or not even an a-hole move if the secret was just something like chill that really wasn't going to be like career affecting?
Yeah.
Maybe then I'd be like, okay, this really isn't an issue that you should have brought up from it staying within your family. This is literally something that she said would affect her career in office, and a lot of people she worked with didn't even know yet.
Yeah. No, I would have.
And it was only a 3 or 4 day wait.
Yeah. Mother-in-law could have waited.
Yeah.
OP responds to a comment about her mother-in-law forcing her to tell sister-in-law without consulting with her partner. OP said, well, indirectly, she did. She wasn't supposed to tell anyone. She told father-in-law and son, instantly betraying her daughter. Her actions put me into the crossfire, and I had to make a decision. I based my next step on morality, the loyalty on the promise I made, not on loyalty to my partner, who first wasn't supposed to know, and second, also decided to share the secret info. I was put in a difficult spot, and I would have lost anyway, even if I had decided differently. OP responds to a comment regarding the possibility of her partner being conditioned his entire life to keep mother-in-law happy. Sister-in-law is likely to be fed up with mother-in-law not being able to keep information to herself. OP says, well, you're hitting the nail right on the head. Afterwards, she let me know it was kind of a test to see if she could trust her. And now mother-in-law says everybody's making a mountain out of a molehill. How long has OP been with her partner? OP says, I'm 13 years in. It's hard. And OP adds, oh, is there a misunderstanding here? I'm not 13 years of age. I'm 13 years in the relationship. That I don't know how anyone could have misunderstood that.
Hoomst is out here being like, yes, this 13-year-old is married.
Yes, this 13-year-old and a husband.
Consent.
Yes, that doesn't make any sense. But there is an update, folks. Any thoughts?
I still don't think you did anything wrong.
No,
and
I
I
think you're fine.
do think that if it settles for a little bit, one of the two, either mother-in-law or husband, is gonna come around and be like, no, it was for the best for sister-in-law. I
Yeah.
think they'll realize.
I would hope so, at least on the husband's part.
Yeah.
You know,
At
my
the very
sister-
least,
yeah.
on the husband's part. He better.
Yeah, at least like hopefully maybe listening to his sister explain I told them both not to share the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like maybe husband was just a little butthurt that he didn't get
Yeah, he's
the like
What the heck?
the share.
No
He
one wanted to
wants the
share me.
secret.
I'm good at keeping secrets. Yes, I told you immediately, but still. Update. Business as usual, as if nothing had happened between my partner and me. Smiles, small talk, good mood. That's how conflict resolution always works here. Nothing gets resolved, it gets swept under the rug and ignored. OP, you're contributing in that.
That's not good.
It's both of you. Don't let that slide. Face it until it's thrown back in your face in the next tense situation. So anyone who thinks I didn't take my loyalty towards him seriously and that my poor hubby must be deeply hurt isn't entirely right. It's difficult to include all the background details in an Am I the A-hole post, but I will say this much. His loyalty toward me has always come last. Whether it was about keeping promises, keeping secrets, or being faithful?
Huh?
Did he cheat on you? Divorce him? I'm not saying this was an act of revenge for his behavior, but it certainly influenced my decision on a subconscious level. Or rather, it's probably the reason why my promise to his sister mattered to me, while I didn't take my lack of loyalty toward him into consideration. And by the way, I think you all should consider listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think OP, you should consider telling us all of the tea. Because
Yeah.
we're missing a lot, clearly.
Loyalty? What do you mean? Why are we still with him? We don't seem to like him. To finish off, yesterday, after 2 missed calls from my mother-in-law, I sent her a message telling her that I would not be discussing this situation any further. I think that would only create more room for arguments, and I simply don't have the energy for it. For years, I've suspected that I'm dealing with narcissists, my mother-in-law and her son. His sister, on the other hand, takes after her father. She's rather quiet, trustworthy, and handles things calmly.
See, my mother-in-law and her son, that's your husband, girlie.
Yeah, that is crazy. You already are not even referring to him as your husband, so I feel like we are
What are we doing?
done. We'll see how this unfolds. However, my sister-in-law has already let me know that she intends to draw her own consequences and distance herself from the family in the near future. Guess who will be held responsible for that? LOL. And that's the end of the story.
So all we got from that is everybody except for sister-in-law, stinky poo-poo who can't keep secrets
Yeah.
and blame you for everything, and your sister-in-law is awesome.
And you should divorce your husband. I caught my sister-in-law acting as my baby's second mother.
No, absolutely not.
And there are trigger warnings for mentions of infertility. I gave birth to my daughter 7 weeks ago, and since that day, my sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, who is infertile, has tried to make herself the second mother of my baby.
Oh.
That's not good.
There's only one way to do this right.
What?
Lesbian couples.
I was going to say a mom off, but...
Yeah, so we
a
had 2
mom
different
off.
options. She showed up at the hospital uninvited and insisted on watching me feed my baby and wanted to co-sign the birth certificate. That's actually crazy.
Wait, what?
She said, I want to co-sign right now. I have no actual legal
anything to this baby, but
especially after you like feeding or like during, she's like, yeah, I think it's time.
I want to get in on this action.
she visited us every day after I gave birth and tried to do skin to skin with my baby, tried to push me to pump so she could feed the baby, and called my baby our baby, as in mine and hers. Okay, so at a certain point, we can just stop her from coming into the house. You know, at a certain point, we could just say, whoa, take a step back. Why haven't we done that? By the way, this comes from I'm Not Autistica. Okay. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, very important context to the story. I tend to mostly, if not only, take baby advice from my own mother, since from what she is saying, my baby acts like me when I was a baby. And her advice has helped me a lot. I am neurodivergent and I have been diagnosed very early in life because of my severe sensory issues, which I'm pretty sure my baby also has. When I was a newborn, I would scream my head off whenever my mom would put me in those baby dresses that had tulle. And to this day, I cannot touch it. It seems that my baby has the same problem. So to keep her comfortable as she is still little, I dress her in cotton or soft crochet dresses, but mostly onesies.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
2 days ago, it was my mother-in-law's birthday, and we decided to go and take the baby with us. She spent most of the time in my arms, as both me and her have separation anxiety. Other than me, my sister-in-law was the one holding her, as she would take her out of my arms, even though my baby would scream and cry until she was back in my hands. I told her multiple times that she should stop doing that, and she immediately started guilt-tripping me, saying that she wanted to hold a baby since she could never have one of her own.
Oh, here we go.
I don't understand why we are just saying stop. Nope. No.
I mean, you can just go by the adoption center and get one of those.
Yeah, she could totally adopt.
We can also,
has she not looked into that?
Yeah, but even before a child, you can also do like a pet maybe, or like, let's start with plants.
You can have a dog.
Yeah, let's start with that because you never know. Like, this seems like a little intense and a little scary, especially with all this going on.
I just like OP says she would take her out of my arms. Like, this is what we do. We go, you reach for baby, Riley? No. Sorry, no. She's feeding. No, she's sleeping.
See, it's hard to do that at family functions.
I guess, but if you have such an issue with it.
Yeah.
Let's just say postpartum has made me very sensitive, so I felt bad for her. It kept going like this until I stood up to use the bathroom. When I came back, my baby and my sister-in-law were gone. And to say I was passing away inside is an understatement. I kept looking around the house until I heard my baby scream so loudly I thought she was being tortured. I opened the door to where the sound was coming from and found my sister-in-law taking pictures of my baby. Immediately, you're never touching my baby again.
No. What are you thinking?
She had changed her into a dress with tulle, and she knows my baby hates tulle.
Oh, this is so intentional too.
Yeah, yikes. Like, you want to be my baby's mom, but you don't even know how to do that.
You don't even do it right.
You're not even doing it right. I lost it. I started screaming that she was a witch and that if God made her infertile, it was for a reason.
Ooh. Oh.
So, OP,
Okay.
you were so far in the clear that somehow I'm shocked that you have accidentally fallen before the finish line.
Well,
That's...
Mama Bear came out.
Yeah, but
When-
like, imagine your baby's already screaming, and instead of being like, this is unacceptable, please do never touch my baby again, you start screaming, and then you say this.
It's the screaming match of like, if I get louder, with everything going on.
I understand your sentiment, and you are in the right...
Heat of the
feeling this
moment.
way, but yeah.
I mean, potentially if someone took my child from me, was doing all of this and like pushing the line, I too would be like, it's going to be hard for me not to contain myself.
I just would hope that you got the baby back first before you start screaming.
This is what I realized. Well, also, everyone, tell me, what would you do?
Yeah.
She was able to say this quick.
Yeah.
She's been thinking about it.
It's been there.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's been ready to be, like,
she's like, what is
this
the
is my
worst
starter.
thing I could say?
Yeah, I'm ready to throw this out whenever.
That is the worst thing you could say. My husband and his mother heard me and came running upstairs, and my sister-in-law had started crying while I was changing my baby. Then I just lost it and started crying while holding my baby. My husband took us home, and I had a strong meltdown while he just held me. My mother-in-law called me and told me that I should apologize for what I said. And I'm actually wondering if I was too harsh. Like, yeah, but I understand.
You said that the almighty being who created that person should not be able to make other people.
You did say the worst thing you absolutely could have said. The thing is, do I think that this woman should be around your baby? No. I think she should be far from your baby. Do I think you should have said that while she was holding your baby?
Yeah.
No.
It's like when somebody's like holding a weapon or something like that, or just anything against you, and you're like, yeah, let me just insult them with the most insulting thing I can think of.
Yeah. It's kind of
while they have everything, you know, like they have all the money, or like they have everything in their hands.
Yeah, it's like someone's holding a knife and you're like, stab me, do it.
But another thing, though,
you're ugly, do it.
Isn't this person neurodivergent?
Yes, which it also makes sense why they would be having that reaction if like heat of the moment and stuff. But the question is still, should she have done it? No. Do I understand why it happened? Yeah.
Yikes. See, I think a loophole for all this stuff is to say that in another language. You have more passion with it. Other languages too are very fiery.
Yeah.
Like imagine you said that in Russian.
No tienes bebés. What if it would be no debes tener bebés? Like you should not have?
Yeah, that feels good.
Something like that.
We'll get the exact translation.
Yeah, no bebés para tú.
What's your loophole?
That's a good one. Yeah.
There we go. Edit. She knew about my daughter's hate for that specific fabric. Everyone did. By the way, I'm not diagnosing my baby. Her aversion for tulle is just something that I also have. I am the neurodivergent one. Don't worry, I have spoken to her doctor about it, and she agrees my daughter does have a strong aversion to tulle. Comments. The Rogue 0530 says, what you said was horrible, not gonna lie. Yeah. But it came from a buildup of not putting strict boundaries down and her going way too far. Is she gonna apologize for her misbehavior? Or is everyone just taking her side no matter what out of pity? I completely agree with that comment on that commenter side. OP says, do you mean about the tulle dresses? If yes, we have put a strict rule since the day we saw her reaction to the material for the first time. No one has gotten her that kind of dress, so my sister-in-law knew better. Plus, it's not a situation where my baby just cries normally and looks uncomfortable. She literally screams and it looks like she wants to tear her skin apart. Intense. I think what that commenter is saying is not like, do you have strict rules on tulle? It's that you weren't enforcing, don't touch my baby, don't hold my baby.
Or she's taken your baby already many times and you know you're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, and you don't stop it. Because you can stop it.
Or you probably have said, don't do that, but like,
yeah,
it should have been, if you do that again, you know,
you can't be around my kid.
You can't be around the kid. You can't be around us. It's,
Okay, I just looked up tulle. Why would you put this on a baby in the first place?
A lot of those like baby dresses, like for girls, they'll have like little baby dresses and they've got like these frilly, because it's like an easy way to get a bit of volume in a dress. And so on baby dresses, they'll like put them and like it's like all cute and stuff.
That makes
like if you look up like baby dress tulle, you'll get
you
an
usually
example.
see that like at like Easter or like spring,
exactly.
like a spring thing, or like mass, or
like
like
a pink little like tulle dress comes out.
Okay.
I was thinking like a legit like
it's gonna be like
doll, like little doll dresses. I'm like,
yes.
ooh.
These are so cute.
Yeah,
I'm getting
really
baby
cute.
fever. I can't
Stop
it.
Stop. You'll be an uncle soon enough. Psychological ad says being neurodivergent and postpartum doesn't excuse one from saying things this harsh. Man, it could have been a pleasant scenario for that baby, with so many people adoring her, including an aunt who would spoil her as her own. Was there any pretext before the birth? It reads as the OP and the sister-in-law didn't get along before. OP says, I never use my postpartum and autism as an excuse. I'm literally asking to learn, and if I have, then I'll apologize for my harsh words to her. And my baby has multiple aunts and people that adore her. This won't change that. But I don't think putting her into a tulle dress that she cannot stand is a pleasant scenario for my baby. No, before the pregnancy, me and my sister-in-law were on good terms. She's just gotten overbearing since the baby is here. Jana in Spain says, so you comment on the post about neurodivergence, but have explicitly ignored all those questions about how your husband has no spine and is apparently not standing up for you at all.
Oh, the husband.
Where the husband at?
Forgot about that, dude. It really seems like a lot of these stories are bystanders participating.
The husband's like, he's Ken dolling it. He's like on a surfboard and he's like, I'm Beach Ken.
I beach. That's all I know how to do.
Beach.
I just beach.
I'm not Dad Ken. I'm like Grill Ken. I'm on the grill. I can't help you with our child. OP, I replied to one comment explaining that my husband is the one that is better at boundaries than me. He was the one that had the nurses punt her out after the birth certificate incident. And during his paternity leave, my sister-in-law could not hold my baby more than 10 minutes. So yeah, it does seem like he's actually instating the boundaries a lot better.
I'm not gonna lie, these comments are coming for OP a little intensely. Like, I get it, what she said was really bad, but also this lady has an infatuation with this baby.
I think the first commenter, that was the only comment we needed to read. The person who said, yeah, that was really harsh, but I also understand why you did it.
Yeah, but everyone's like, OP, like, what's going, like, why? Like, no one's like, does everyone understand, like, the aunt is doing some really messed up stuff here?
And like is clearly not in a good headspace and needs.
I guess the advice that they're asking for is what could have I done differently, not the sister-in-law. Dude, we could go all day about what sister-in-law can do differently.
Oh yeah. I don't know where he was during the incident at my mother-in-law's house, and I'm planning to talk to him about it. Here in France, healthcare is free, and they have specific places for developmental monitoring, and they also ask this kind of question to detect allergies or anything of that kind. That was not the first time my baby has been put in tool. She has the same reaction and only calms down if it's off her. Yes, a baby does not know she has feet or that she's being dressed, but she can definitely feel if something she doesn't like is touching her skin. And we've got an update 3 days later.
Dang, shout out to free healthcare.
Oh, man.
What do we want? Do we want mother and sister-in-law to be best friends, or do we want them not to be in the same room ever again?
I don't think you have to be best friends, but I think you have to be cordial because you're family, but also you be like, hey, you need help.
If they were to go down this journey of being best friends after this incident, what's the first course of action?
Well, I think the first thing that needs to happen is OP goes to sister-in-law, baby stays with husband, or maybe, I don't know, baby stays with like mother.
I think husband.
Well, if she wants husband to be there.
Oh, I see.
So baby stays with trusted adult if you want husband there or not.
Or in a little backpack.
And then you sit sister-in-law down, you say, I am sorry for what I said. I took it too far. However, it is completely unacceptable that you took my baby, put her in something you know she doesn't like. And therefore, we are now setting a boundary where you cannot be alone with baby. You cannot hold baby without our permission. And if you break this boundary, you will not see baby.
It's the clear final cut of, this is my daughter, not your daughter.
Yeah.
You are an aunt. We love you. You're part of the family. But if you continue this, you won't be.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Update 3 days later. Since the last post, I took a screenshot of all the comments I found helpful and showed them to my husband, and we stayed up all night, half with the baby and the other half talking. First of all, it turns out my mother-in-law also had something to do with this.
No.
It's always the mother-in-law. My husband told me that when he saw me go to the bathroom, he immediately started walking towards my sister-in-law to get our baby. But his mother stopped him by using the fact that she needed help moving a table as an excuse to keep him occupied.
Oh, gosh.
We believe my sister-in-law and mother-in-law planned this so she could play mommy to my baby and dress her in something she doesn't even like. Like someone guessed, my husband's brother, the sister-in-law's husband, is the golden child and is spoiled rotten. After that, I started having a weird feeling about the situation. And later that day, I called my husband's sister, who has been low contact with everyone in the family way before I even started dating my now husband.
Oh, we're getting some lore.
Oh, man. We talked for a while, and then I told her what happened. Turns out I'm not the only one my sister-in-law has tried to do this to.
Oh, what?
Uh-oh. My husband's sister had 2 children, and the younger one had colic when he was a baby. And she wanted to feed, so she had to cut a lot of things from her diet. My sister-in-law decided to secretly give the baby non-safe formula without telling anyone, even though she knew about the baby's condition, which ended up making the baby very sick. That's illegal.
How was this never brought up before?
Yes. You're telling me she poisoned the baby? I would never let her around this baby ever again.
Dude, this is what we hear in movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let her near any babies.
Nope. Get away from every baby. We both believe that my sister-in-law has a problem with listening to what the mother of the baby says and does the exact opposite of what is asked of her, acting as if she knows better.
Oh my goodness.
After that conversation and also the comments from the previous post, I decided it was better to just cut contact with that woman and my in-laws, not my husband's sister though. My husband is on the same page as me and we're looking into moving.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of crazy that like sister never told OP and husband this. Because I know she went low contact with mother-in-law and sister-in-law, but if I were her, I would want to warn OP.
Mm-hmm. Man, I think that too. How did it get to this point where she left?
That's not like a little thing. That's a huge thing that,
like, hey,
why was this not brought up at all ever again?
Yeah.
People are saying call CPS.
I mean, she's not the parent.
Yeah, she's not kids.
I feel like you could call like the police, but she doesn't have kids. My husband was the one who did the talking since he is way better at boundaries and putting his foot down. Plus, it's his family. Nice. He explained the situation to his family, and my sister-in-law, of course, went crazy on us and told me I was taking your niece away from her just because of a tool, and that she had more rights to the baby than me. Girl.
There's your answer. There's your answer right there.
What?
She doesn't even realize what's happening.
She's crazy. I feel like she doesn't understand. It's not about the tool. My husband just blocked them all without even replying. We are hoping the story ends here, and hopefully it will move as soon as possible. Edit, I don't know if I still want to update if something happens. I've spent the last couple of hours just crying and crying. I've been called crazy and a liar by the same two people on my last post. How could I be crazy for wanting to protect my baby?
Again, that's what I'm saying. These comments, what are we doing?
Did not understand. Yes, what I said was harsh and I took full responsibility, but that doesn't change the fact that she hurt my 7-week-old newborn. And Edis14 says, why didn't your husband know about sister-in-law's behavior with his sister's children? Why has he been low contact with his sister? Was he oblivious to sister-in-law and mother-in-law and put the blame on his sister this whole time? Like others said, be careful. This is extremely mentally unwell behavior. OP says, my husband didn't know the reason why his sister went low contact with his family. He just thought it was because she moved away. He doesn't even like his sister-in-law way before this situation. And he was so happy to go low and no contact. Celestia Messenger says, there are other ways to have children. She can adopt. She has no right to take your baby away from you. I don't think she's ever going to be able to adopt after, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that is why you get CPS involved and you say, hey, don't let her ever adopt children.
That's why I said start with like a plant.
Don't you have to do like psych evaluations for adopting children?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think she would pass that.
You got to do psych evaluations. The people have to come to your house to make sure it's safe for the baby.
You also have to have like references and stuff.
References. They ask if you have any like firearms. Do you have any alcohol that's easy to be accessible? They go through a whole list of things.
Yeah, so I don't think that she'll be getting a baby. And maybe that's why she doesn't have a baby. Because she never was able to pass that.
So what do we think of this first comment OP made earlier in the story?
I honestly still stand by my thing of like, we shouldn't be screaming when she has access to your baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably the most dangerous thing. I mean, like we also don't know exactly the setup of the room in that moment. Maybe OP had already grabbed the baby.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I just still wouldn't have done that while baby is in room.
You wouldn't have said that?
I wouldn't have screamed and said that. Because you don't know. I mean, this woman is crazy. I don't know how she's going to react.
But
she could have lunged for the baby.
We don't know. You know what you haven't said?
What?
She was wrong. You haven't said that. You haven't.
Well,
you're still not saying that. Oh, wow.
I would never wish that on someone. I would never want to wish that on someone. But do I think this woman should be around kids? No, I will say that. You are mom and you know your baby best. OP, where I live, newborn adoption locally is not the easiest. Thoughts? Our country has free healthcare and gives financial assistance to mothers, especially if alone. So it's very rare to see people choosing to give their baby up for adoption. She clearly is not going to adopt an older baby because she seems to lose interest once they become toddlers. Dang. Yeah, free healthcare and financial assistance to mothers. That would be great. OP added in the comments, my baby is only 7 weeks old, so she's not going to daycare yet. Fortunately, we live in a private building that has cameras all around and we have our own in our apartment. And update 2. after 27 days from the last post. A month ago, I had posted about how I had screamed at my sister-in-law after she had dressed my newborn in clothes she was not comfortable in, as my baby hated tulle because of her sensitive skin. A lot of things happened since then, and I feel like I didn't even have time to just relax. First of all, my baby's doing great. Yay!
Oh, good.
She is now 11 weeks and has outgrown her hate for tulle. Okay. Sometimes they're just like little babies and they just don't like that material.
That was me with like socks. I hated socks as a baby.
And now
like,
you're wearing socks.
I know, I'm wearing socks. Look at me.
I've
grown up. I've matured.
He's so big now.
We can bring the sister-in-law back now.
No.
The baby likes tulle.
But
It's
she still
okay.
doesn't like sister-in-law.
We don't know that.
So, like someone had mentioned in the comments, it was just that as a newborn, her skin was very sensitive, which makes me feel a lot better. Now to the update.
Okay, you got stalked, had to get the police involved, and there are 2... Oh, what do you call that?
Restraining orders?
Restraining orders.
I hope not. I hope none of that happened. We did get an emergency move. Here in France, we have something called an assistant social, which is like a social worker that helps you with everything. After getting a lawyer and explaining our situation, and also getting my husband's sister to give a written statement about her own experience with this sister-in-law, we were able to get a new apartment in another city very quickly because what happened is considered child endangerment and exploitation, as she took pictures of a newborn without the parents' consent.
Oh, she posted on Facebook saying it was her kid.
Oh, I wonder. We did not tell his family until we had already moved, and it was our lawyer who sent them a letter from his office saying they cannot contact us and will not see my child until she is 2 years old. Wow. To our surprise, my sister-in-law did not fight it. She stopped asking me to send her pictures or give her baby updates. And it's like a switch flipped, and she just lost interest in my daughter after she got older. But it doesn't end here.
Oh, no.
Stop. Let's end here. My brother-in-law is getting a divorce from her. I wonder why.
It's because of tulle? Come on.
Yeah. It turns out she doesn't want children. She only wants a newborn. And that explains why she lost interest in my baby once she hit 8 weeks. My brother-in-law found out about it because he had always tried to get her to try IVF, but she refused. He then mentioned adopting, and she immediately said no, because here the birth mother cannot sign her rights away until the baby is at least 2 months old, during which time the baby is placed in foster care. Also, because of our country's financial support to single mothers, it's very rare that someone gives a newborn up for adoption unless it's a private adoption between family members. By the way, I don't want you to keep private that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left to the story. Any final thoughts?
That's developing news. So she just wants like a doll.
Yes. We can get her a doll. She can just have a little baby doll.
That's insane. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Once they hit
but with
25, over.
She's like, that baby's just too old for me.
It's like once it hits 8 weeks, nah.
Once it's able to drink water, I'm just not into it. Don't want that baby anymore. My brother-in-law started having doubts and getting weird vibes from his wife, so we asked her what she wanted. And he said it started a massive argument where she ended up saying that she only wanted a newborn and not a responsibility, meaning an older child to raise. As if a newborn is not a responsibility, but only a doll to play with. All of this was told to us by my husband's sister, who had been contacted by her brother asking for help. Now we're in a new city and feeling so much better. At first, I was scared that I would lose my village, but I ended up feeling even better with no more anxiety or depression. I think I'm one of those moms that works better without help from people around me. And I also think it's because I have an easy baby and a very, very great husband. I want to thank everyone who gave me their support and advice. We're all safe right now, and we will be for a very long time, hopefully. And that's the end of that story, but oh boy, yeah. Now it makes sense why she's trying to put this baby into a little tulle dress, because she wanted a doll. Yikes.
Did we get the actual events of what took place for this police report to happen for an emergency move? Sounds like...
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, some things happened. We had an emergency move. This is how everything is. She didn't really say, was it just the expulsion of pictures online?
Yeah, it was that she took pictures, which is like a crime or something.
Okay.
I don't even know if she posted them online. It was just that she took pictures without the parents' consent. But either way, got them out of there, so that's good.
Well, I took pictures of a baby recently. It was Eddie's kid. I was like, who's that there? It was like the little baby, and Sadaf came with the baby and was like, look. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at you. Her eyes were so big. Hopefully I don't get arrested for that.
Well, it would only be if the parents said, hey, don't do that. And you're like, F you, I'm going to do it anyway.
I'll show you guys the pictures.
Yay.
Look at her.
She's so cute. She's so cute.
I want to ban my sister-in-law from the holiday because she keeps causing drama.
Ho, 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 no.
My 27 female family used to have a tradition when I was growing up where sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my mom would gather the children of family and friends, and we would all decorate cookies together and watch Christmas movies all day, called Cookie Day. By the way, this comes from user Mallow Marshical, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily because we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so tell us what you would do in the comments. I was always the oldest kid there, really a tween or teen because of the age gap between me and all the other kids. But I never minded because I got to help the little ones decorate and help my mom make the day magical and special for everyone. I always loved this tradition and was sad when it kind of faded out due to life being life and everyone growing up. Fast forward to now, I am married to a wonderful man, 29 male. I'll call him Finn, and I'm so blessed to have some nibblings that are finally old enough to start walking around. So I want to restart the tradition with them this year, and hopefully keep it going and growing as more nibblings arrive in the future and become the hot magical Christmas aunt. Finn's family is actually rather large already, and pretty close-knit, and this part comes into play, so it should be fun to see mostly everyone, mostly. This is where the problem person comes in.
Oh no.
Finn has an older sister, 33 female, I'll call Ella. I have had problems with her since I started dating her brother, and it's part of the reason why I'm wondering if my own personal grudges are clouding my judgment here. Ella is not my favorite person in the world. She can be very selfish and self-centered at the expense of those around her. It's actually caused a huge, years-long fight in the family in the past, which she said she'd never apologize to specifically me for, and which is also why I think my grudges may be coming into play here. But that's a different story and very long. Finn also has an older brother, Jake, 30-something male, who's married to Rain, 29 female. This is important because Cookie Day will be held at their house this year, and Rain is co-planning the event with me. She is also the mother of Charlie, 5 female, and Jake Jr., 4 male, 2 of the participating nibblings.
The participating nibblings.
Now that there's some context onto the issue. Last weekend, after a birthday party me and my mother-in-law threw for my husband, Finn, Rain decided to let Charlie stay over at her grandparents' house with them under her Auntie Ella's care since she lives with them. Later that same night, a very close friend of their family had a serious medical emergency. I won't give too many details for privacy, but it resulted in an emergency surgery being needed. Instead of calling the adult children of said family friend, Ella decided to leave the house for 2 hours to go physically find them, not to bring them to the hospital or anything, just to inform them of what happened, leaving Charlie in the grandparents' care without alerting Rain at all. When Rain found out the next day and called Ella and told her that she was uncomfortable not being informed of these events and asked to even just have a text sent to her next time, Ella became annoyed. When Rain asked why Ella specifically had to physically go, Ella snappily replied, I don't know, maybe because her mom, the friend's daughter, just had a heart attack, to which Rain promptly hung up. Ella then texted, calling her a bunch of words for worrying when Charlie was safe with the grandparents. This is where we come back to Cookie Day. I feel like I would be in the right to ban Ella, but I am conflicted due to several reasons. One is the event is not being held at my house, it's at Rain's. Although I want to show solidarity and also punish the disrespect, I don't think it's my place to dictate who comes to her house or not. Also, the family has a very old and fragile grandmother, Grammy, who is starting to fade. I know banning Ella absolutely will start a war between the family because Finn and Ella's parents usually tend to side with Ella, and they are also the guardians of Grammy. I don't want Finn to not be able to see her in the last days or have her leave the family while we're fighting. I'm aware I can be petty, and I don't want my own personal beef over that past fight, plus a myriad of other smaller issues, to carry over into this event or the holidays and taint them for the nibblings and Grammy. So would I be the a-hole if I ban my sister-in-law from Cookie Day?
No, you wouldn't necessarily be the a-hole, but you do know what it would cause. So I feel like it would just be messier to do it.
Right.
So I feel like you shouldn't ban her because it's just so messy.
Yeah, it's something you should probably talk to Rain about, because it was her child
and it's
that the mess was involved with,
and her party.
Yeah, you guys are planning it together. So if it's not too much for the actual parent of the child that was left with the grandparents, which it doesn't even sound like it was that big of a deal, and instead Rain was just like, well, if you are going to do that, just let me know so I know.
Yeah.
And then, Ella, who is sister-in-law, Rain is the wife of Jake, the brother-in-law of OP. Ella's the direct sister. Yeah, I don't know. That's between them.
I feel like you're coming from the right place, but it seems like it's just going to cause a whole blow up, and we don't need to set that bomb off.
Finn here. There's some more context you all should know. Rain called us this morning after it happened to ask if she should even inform Ella that she and my wife Phoebe were hosting a cookie day. When Phoebe said it's her house, so she can't say, Rain replied that it is, but it's your idea and your event, so you get to decide who comes. That's why she can't decide this alone. She gets how her wording made it seem like it'd be a unilateral decision on her part. Rain never said she wasn't fine that Charlie was left in the grandparents' care, just that she wanted to be informed in the future if the person taking care of her child changes. A reasonable expectation, in my opinion. The grandparents are able-bodied, but they are also the sole caretakers of my infirm Grammy, and caretaker fatigue is real. If they needed to hurry and have Grammy rushed to the hospital, care of Charlie is still needed, and informing the mother if changes regarding her own kid is not a request worthy of being called some words over. Yeah, to be clear, she literally wasn't like, I can't believe you did. She was just like, oh, well, just let me know next time. And then Ella's like, well, I couldn't let you know because my friend had a heart attack. And it's like, okay. Ella likes to bring over whichever older man she's currently dating around the family and kids. Usually someone no one besides her knows or has even met and is significantly older. Phoebe didn't think this mattered as this didn't happen for this specific event. Actually, it happened earlier that same day, but I think it should be mentioned. Hot Christmas aunt is weird wording. We both know and apologize. My wife is autistic and gets her words wrong a lot. Magical fun Christmas aunt is more the vibe she's going for. But you all know that one relative the trope refers to, and feigning ignorance to make her look weird is very Reddit of you. Jake, myself, and even our older brother Jermaine and his wife have all had issues with Ella at some point or another. As Phoebe hinted at, this is not the first time Ella has been disrespectful to someone for no reason other than her own selfishness. And it's part of the reason we want to ban her. In the end, this is Rain and Phoebe's event, so my brother and I have no real say. But we will stand behind our wives' decisions. Yeah, this is a lot of drama. Giving all the context for everything Ella has done to not just Phoebe and Rain, but my whole family, would need a whole few other posts. But Phoebe really wants to make the same kind of magic for the kids in the family that she grew up with, and we don't want any issues tainting that day.
To be clear, Shawnee OP, I know that. I'm just making fun of the fact that OP is making it sound like you can't be, because he corrects. You can't.
No, if you're autistic, you can only be magical. You can only be like a wizard if you have autism.
That's what we're making fun of. I know that you can be hot and autistic.
Preemptive action is something I support, and why I actually made the suggestion she posted here for advice. Thanks. And there's an update. Finn again. First, my wife and I want to thank the few of you who actually took the time to read the post and respond kindly and fairly. Your advice was invaluable and would have been helpful in this situation, and hopefully will be for future ones. For the majority of you, the lack of reading comprehension and critical thinking on this site is disappointing, but unsurprising. I should have taken into account Reddit's tendency to miss details, bandwagon, and take people's words with the worst possible interpretations. Stop it. Let her be a hot Christmas aunt. Let her do it. Hot, whimsical Christmas aunt.
She's hot.
My wife stated several things that were glossed over in favor of you're petty or drama, so you're in the wrong. Actively trying to avoid drama, makes you like drama, or you want to be hot, weird. Yes, people have the desire to be conventionally attractive to society and feel good about themselves, but go ahead and villainize them since it reminds you too much of your high school bullies. Sorry you don't also feel or want to feel good about yourselves, but don't project that onto other people who want to be hot and happy with the way they look. Bah. That wasn't even the main part of the post, but it was so important to so many of you. And by the way, it is so important that you listen to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to every single one. You can listen to every story we've told.
It's true.
And there's a little bit left of this story. Those saying you don't need to defend Rain are the same ones who would applaud if Phoebe were to stand up for a random cashier she didn't know for getting cussed out for no reason. But critical thinking loses to hypocrisy once again. Also, Charlie is a girl. I don't care if this even comes off as a crash out to you all, because it's clear that the majority of your opinion should not ever be taken into consideration by actual humans. It's no wonder the real world looks down on the troglodytes that regularly use this site and this forum in particular.
OP, you just gotta get off Reddit.
Dang, dude, you're just not built for the internet,
Yeah,
man.
you just gotta get
That's
off Reddit.
crazy. Anyway, Phoebe talked to Rain and decided to cancel Cookie Day altogether in favor of having Grammy's funeral that day.
Oh.
And giving the family time to mourn.
Oh.
Okay. She even baked my family a pie in condolences because she's that sweet. Grammy's passing hit her pretty hard, as she was really close to her in her final years. So on top of feeling awful about all the comments, she gets to mourn now. Ella doesn't need to be banned from anything, so I guess you all got your wish, but it doesn't even matter now. I'm going to be with my family now, so this will be the last update you'll hear from either of us. And that's the end of that story.
Dang, I'm so sorry. That was a very sad ending.
My sister-in-law obsessed over my showers, so my husband exposed her.
We talking baby showers or like clean showers?
I'm thinking of like the rainforest shower, you know, like the raining showers from the top.
Oh, yeah, those kinds?
Yeah, those are the best.
Okay.
I'm staying with my in-laws for 24 days. First of all, I didn't want to stay for more than 10 to 14 days, but my husband went above my head and bought the tickets anyway. That's not a red flag if I've ever saw one. By the way, this comes from user AnywherePresent1998, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. Pretty please. As Opie says, I want to start off by saying that I love my parents-in-law. They treat me like one of their own, and I get along with them really well. We hang out, cook, and watch movies together all the time. Basically, they're friends/family that I've always wanted. I always get along with my sister-in-law, but she's always been a bit tricky. Every single time all three of us come to their family home for Christmas, she's always on my butt about the electricity bill. I don't leave lights on or use much of it, so she comes to bother me about the hot water/heater. It's been 5 years of this. They have a water heater that they put on about 30 to 60 minutes before showering, and it's off the rest of the time. The cheapest electricity times are from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., so that's when I shower. So, first she tells me that I need to take less time, less than 15 minutes, showering. I say, okay, sure. I don't ever go over 15 minutes anyway. Then she says I need to shower less than 10 minutes. I say, okay, I'll do the whole Navy shower thing, but I realize it's hard because of washing my long hair. I say, okay, I'll only wash my hair twice a week while here, and I'll only shower once a day. Then she comes to tell me that I need to not shower every day.
What?
I say, why am I the one you're telling this to? Doesn't everyone shower once a day? She says that no one except me and my husband shower every day, and that's only because I probably force him to. She kept going on and on about the electricity bill, and I just felt that it was super rude of her to try and make me feel guilty for something so normal. On top of it, I'm still a guest. We had a really good day and even went out shopping together. I don't know why she would bring up this ridiculousness up to me right before bed. Opie continues saying, this just ruined my sleepiness. I just told her that if I have to pay their electricity bill in order to shower once a day, then I'll do it. To just leave me alone. I just couldn't talk to her about it anymore because in my mind, she wouldn't see reason. She kept going to no matter what I said. I brought it up to my husband yet again because as I said, it's been every single year on the same topic. He says again that she's just being an overbearing auntie and not to take it seriously, but he'll speak to her. It's hard for me not to be upset because I'm already away from all my comforts for longer than I ever wanted. And I thought that the last thing I had was my once a day shower to just imagine I'm back home with my beautiful clean bathroom, all the hot water I need, and my peace and quiet. I have not complained once, so this really stings. Am I being dramatic or what?
I don't think so.
I don't think you're being dramatic in any sense. Again, if they had their reasonings, of like, oh, the water bill is really high, or the plumbing, or something like we have to conserve water, what have you. If there was legit reasonings, okay. If everybody else is doing this, I guess, but it seems like it's just out for you.
Right.
I would ask everybody in the house, is everyone showering a day? Is she showering? Does she take like 40-minute showers?
Yeah, right? That's my question. She's like, you actually can't shower every day because I'm going to. So,
Yeah, you're ruining my shower time.
Yeah, so if you lessen your amount of showers, then I can shower for however long I want.
I don't know. She also confined to being like, take less than 15-minute showers, which OP was like, cool. And then she's like, less than 10 minutes.
Down to 10.
I don't know. This is very weird. Also, the thing with your husband earlier that you said that, hey, I only want to go for like 2 weeks. And he's like, we're going to stay there for 24 days.
Yeah, a long time.
And he doesn't take that into consideration. There's also a problem with your husband listening to you, because if you've been doing this for 5 years, he knows you don't want to go for that long, still does it anyway. There needs to be a very clear-cut communication between you and your husband about how you feel, because he's not treating you right on that part. Comments. Comment number 1. Go to your mother-in-law privately. Apologize for using too much electricity. Tell her you didn't know things were that tough, and ask how you can help her. Tell her you'll be sure to leave the money for the bills when you leave. Tell her that you never meant to stress her out while she was ill. When she asks what you're talking about, kindly and nicely throw sister-in-law under the bus, because I doubt any of this is coming from mother-in-law. Comment number 2. Is there a truck stop or Planet Fitness nearby? Just go there once a day and buy a shower. And don't be quiet about leaving. But getting a break while you do this each day may provide some comfort. If you can figure out a place to charge them, get some battery banks for your electronics. Bonus points if you can set up a solar charging station in the front yard, because it gets the best sun. Also, wear a headlamp around the house at night. This is a little extreme.
Yeah.
Anytime you go in a room that doesn't already have the light on, turn on the headlamp. If anyone says anything, tell them you read about this and ways to save electricity. Maybe give everyone headlamps for Christmas.
That's funny.
OP replied, this made me chuckle. Thanks, man. Made me chuckle too. Comment number 3. Offer your in-laws to help with utilities while there, and make sure sister-in-law is there to hear it. Mom and Dad, we want to give you this cash to help pay for the utilities we are using while here. It's only fair since we are staying so long. I guarantee sister-in-law hasn't offered anything. Watch her squirm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Then after you insist that in-laws accept the money, turn the tables on sister-in-law and tell her she should also fork over the money or stop using the utilities. Comment number 4. Tell your sister-in-law that unless she pays the bills at your in-laws' house with her own money, she doesn't tell you what to do. If the in-laws were this stressed, they would have spoken to your husband. Then tell your husband he better start running interference, or you will simply have to handle the situation yourself. Personally, I would be renting a hotel room without the husband if necessary. If you don't stand up for yourself, you will put up with this for the next 30 years. Comment number 5. Not overreacting. Go to your mother-in-law, tell her you'd like to apologize for causing expenses, that your sister-in-law has been bringing it up daily, and add that you don't want to be a burden and that you and your husband don't have to be there every Christmas, or that you can find a hotel to make things easier for everyone. Say all this in a humble, non-ironic tone, then sit back and watch the house burn as your mother-in-law lectures her daughter on how to behave towards invited guests. When dealing with family matters involving arguments during a visit, you shouldn't get your hands dirty yourself. That's what hosts are for. If you go into open confrontation with her without backup, you can only lose. And there is an update.
I think those are great ideas. I like the one about just going to the parents-in-law separately and bringing up the issue, apologizing for the issue, so you're not just like, hey, sister-in-law is saying this, like, is
I feel
that
bad.
true?
Yeah.
Because they might be put in an awkward spot, but if you just apologize for it, then they could accept it if that's true, or they could, be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, 5 years of this is insane. And your husband not really doing anything, per se,
right?
Those 5 years, also insane.
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like it would be so easy for him to talk to his sister about being like, yo, what?
Exactly.
I shower every day because that's what we should be doing, not because my wife is forcing me.
Yeah, insane. Well, we do have an update. Let's get right into it. I just want to say thank you to everyone for all the wonderful advice. I'm especially grateful to you guys for validating my concerns and feelings. I just wanted to clear up the whole auntie thing. We don't have any kids, and he used this term in a slang way the way you say unk, okay?
Nice.
Anyway, he messaged her in the family group chat last night addressing the whole thing. It wasn't in my native tongue, so I can't tell you word for word what was said. We're in Southern Eastern Europe. But basically, he told her to knock it off and leave me alone. Okay. I woke up late today because I didn't fall asleep until 2 a.m., so I missed the whole confrontation. I just know I woke up to shouting, then strong vacuuming outside my door, and she sent me 2 videos about wives greeting their husbands in clothes or being topless.
What? This is such a weird, uncomfortable relationship.
I have no words to respond to that, that's for sure.
That's insane and so inappropriate. And why?
And OP's also in the same boat as us, thankfully, saying, I don't even effing know, you guys. I can't even begin to understand what she's meaning by this, and neither do we. My husband told me that she was embarrassed that he told his parents and asked him why he had to stress my mother-in-law out about such simple things, and that she didn't mean to upset me. She's just a direct person, and it's a simple request. Mother-in-law defended me.
Yes.
And told her that she needs us to be a family right now, and she's arguing over dumb stuff. She was very annoyed.
As would anybody.
Yeah, what? The whole day was super awkward, of course, as we didn't talk a lot, and she never brought it up to me. Just basically pretended like nothing happened. Fine by me as long as she leaves me alone. But by the way, we won't leave you alone because we have full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and searching up OK Storytime. That'd be really cool.
It'd be super cool if you did that.
Yeah, there's a little bit left here, Angie.
Thank God the mom was like, girl, what are you talking about? Because it truly is like so minuscule and annoying.
Yeah, how old was she?
I'm assuming around the same age.
She sounds like a child. Not like a child, but like a
teenager.
Like a teenager.
Yeah.
I don't have ages, so I don't know how old she is, really.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing like probably late 20s or something, maybe early 30s.
Yeah. But I also like how it took, in hindsight, 5 years for this to be really brought up to everyone's attention.
Yeah, right?
Like, this could have been done the first time.
Yeah.
With the husband be like, hey, do we need to not take long showers because water's expensive or the electricity bill's way too high?
So weird that it's the showers that are bothering her. It's not anything else. It's not like, oh, I don't know, put your dishes away or something like that. It's like, it's just all about the showering every year. Like, what?
But let's go ahead and finish up this story. I was on my way to the bathroom to go use it when she stopped me to say she needs to do something in there before I go in. Mother-in-law yelled at her to leave me be, so she said, okay, go, 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 go. At least I know that my parents-in-law are reasonable people, so I'm glad about that. My husband, however, doesn't understand that she has never really warmed up to me and only pretends to be my friend. He claims she can't fake being nice and that she loves me. Whatever. I wash my hands of his sister, as this is just the cherry on top of her microaggressions and backhanded talk for years. Thanks again, you guys. But that is the end of that story.
Screamed through my cousin's wedding, so I made sure she's not invited to mine.
Ugh, but I love screaming!
Hello! I'm having a destination wedding and getting married in Vienna, Austria. The wedding is small, 50 people, and child-free. Don't you even think about bringing that kid around here. We'll put them to work. Already spoke to everyone who will be invited who have children, and they have all confirmed they are coming and leaving their kids at home. The problem is my brother and her sister-in-law. And by the way, this comes from Slow Specific 4700. You know where to post your favorite story. And if you have one, my name's Riley.
My name's Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to be goofy. And you're here to comment down below your experiences. My niece will be 5 when the wedding takes place, and they have said they refuse to leave her for a week, let alone a few days. My sister-in-law refuses to let anyone but my mom babysit. She doesn't trust anyone and refuses to go away without her. They have never spent time as a couple without her. I don't care. That's her personal choice. When I told them they would have to find accommodations for my niece during the wedding, my sister-in-law freaked out. Said my niece was coming no matter what. She's gonna be there. Said she's not invited to the ceremony, the reception, and I won't have her around the wedding party at the hotel that we are paying for. Guests are only paying their plane tickets and the day of. So if she brings her, they would have to find another hotel or at the very least a sitter there for the night of, which again, she freaked out and said no. And how my mom could babysit. No, but not a random person. For context, they refuse to set boundaries with my niece. Gentle parenting. They allow her to do whatever, whenever she wants. She streams constantly because she doesn't get her way. And at my cousin's wedding, she was very disruptive and even stood in front of the groomsmen during their speeches and interrupted. My brother and sister-in-law did Nothing.
Okay, yeah. So I would not be inviting her.
I refuse to deal with her at any point during our very expensive day that we are paying for. Since I refuse to compromise or be reasonable, I told them, well, then just don't come. My parents and they are now calling me unreasonable and said I should make an exception for my niece, which isn't going to happen. So now everyone is calling me the a-hole. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for telling them to stay home and not to come if they can't come without my niece? It feels like you made this rule just because of your niece.
Yeah. and it's, you know, it's a legit concern. This is your day. You don't want like a little kid like ruining it. And it seems like the parents don't do anything about it. So like, yeah, I don't want your kid coming if they're going to be a brat. Sorry, my day. God forbid I get one freaking day.
Goodness. I remember we looked up recently like a scream cone where you can have a cone and you can scream in it and it like wraps around your face.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do that for singing too. It's like a belt box, I think it's called.
That's exactly, yes.
Belt box.
We could strap that on her.
Guys, my belt is crazy.
Oh, I thought it was like
Nope,
waist
not
bound.
around your waist.
Belt, like when you're singing, you belt.
My belt is crazy.
So we put that on her. She sits in the very far back at everything we do.
She's like, bah!
And we give her an iPad,
Oh, God.
like Cocomelon ×2, and then we're good. Just for an evening.
I mean, yeah. But the thing is, I feel like she's going to be the kind that's like, that's not enough. I need to be, you know, annoying to everyone or whatever. So I feel like, you know, even if you give her everything she wants, she's still going to complain. Because it seems like her parents just let her get away with anything, so.
Wow, imagine kids wearing cones. Yeah, I know. They are pick-me parents and want their child to have all the attention, Sofa King says. Yeah.
You're crotch goblins.
As a mom myself, parent your crotch goblins.
Like crotchers.
There we go. Relevant comments. I don't know. Generally, I'm very pro-child free weddings, but asking people with young kids to travel abroad without asking them is a huge ask. It is also not weird your brother-in-law and sister-in-law don't have anyone else besides your mom to keep her that long. Care like that is very limited. It honestly sounds like you're both being unreasonable, to be honest. It's reasonable to say there are responsibilities for care. It's somewhat reasonable, a stretch, but given your description of her, understandable, you don't want her around the wedding party. It's unreasonable to say they have to get a babysitter in another hotel. I'm going, everyone sucks here, as you all sound like you are too far on your own side. Opie says she has options, like her mom, her brother, and his wife, the godfather to my niece, and her own sister. She just refuses to leave her with any of them. I also feel like since I am paying for their room, I should be allowed to say no kids. I told her she can pay the room at $1,000 a night and we find a babysitter there, and she said no. So then I said find another hotel. I don't know if that changes your opinions. Comment number 2. Not the a-hole about the wedding, but I don't get why you don't want her at the hotel. Sister-in-law can stay with her during the ceremony. Opie says, we know them enough to know they will be going back and forth the entire time, and worse, they will make my mom take care of her, like they do anytime and every time we are all together. My mom will not enjoy the wedding, and she can't say no to them, so I don't want her around. They will also try and sneak her into the wedding. So since they don't respect boundaries, it's a no for me. I mean, I'm looking at this, yeah. Commenter 3 says, I think it's a big ask for someone to watch your kid for a week while you are out of the country, especially if she's a handful. Truthfully, I would feel insulted that you didn't want my child at the same hotel. That being said, they shouldn't insist that she's coming if you said no kids. If they can't make arrangements for someone to be with your niece at home or at the wedding, then they shouldn't attend. Opie says, I told them if they pay for the room, we'd find a sitter for the wedding, day of and night of. She still refused. In other words, she wants my own mother to take care of my niece, like always. They might even try and sneak her into the wedding. They don't respect boundaries. I would rather she not be there. They can also come for 2 days instead of a week. So we got options here. And then commenter 4 says, so why don't they bring one of her sisters or her mom to have them babysit? Opie says they can't afford it. It's an extra plane ticket for them. We are taking care of all costs other than the flights.
So then why bring your daughter? You're going to have to pay for her flight. Just don't bring your daughter.
Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of questions right now. I love that this 5-year-old could ruin your wedding.
Literally. Honestly, though, how cool. If I was a 5-year-old and I ruined a wedding, I'd be like, well, everyone would hate me, but, like, fun to say.
Ultraviolet says, I wouldn't have a child-free wedding, but I will not have an unruly kids at my special day.
Agreed.
Guys, put some like solutions in the chat. We got to hire a bodyguard for when the niece sneaks in.
It's Vienna.
My mommy's in there.
I don't care.
I want cake.
Yeah.
Well, I hate you.
Wow.
And then punt.
All right, another question from a commenter. Question: do you like your sister-in-law in general? If not, that could be factoring into your stance. Oh, I'm going to say she says no. Opie says, we are actually close. She's been in my life for over 20 years. I love my brother too. We also see each other every other week. So they're pretty close. But she didn't answer if she liked her though.
Guess we'll never know.
Does sister-in-law allow any members of her family to babysit? If not, why? Opie says yes. Her sister and her brother on several occasions when she's desperate. Opie says on room accommodations for the wedding, we are paying the room accommodations for 2 people per room. Simple rooms with queen beds for everyone. It's not unreasonable to say if they need a bigger room, then they can foot the bill, as it was not in our original plans. And it doesn't change the fact that my niece will be there and someone will have to watch her. And my sister-in-law will dons a way to include her in everything and bring her to the wedding. She does this all the time, saying her daughter should never miss out. So I told them not to come. Update 3 days later. Thoughts? What are we thinking? The 5-year-old gets her act straight? She changed? Turned a new leaf?
No, the 5-year-old is a 5-year-old. She's not going to change. This is adult time. And I believe that they, be like, listen, I want you to come, but I don't want you to bring your child. So if you can't not bring your child, then you can't come. I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. I want you to be there. I want to do this. I'm paying for all of this. I want you to be there. But, it doesn't feel you're respecting me when I'm telling you this is what I want, and you're just disregarding and saying, no. It's my day.
Good point. Some good
Thanks.
stuff there.
Thank you.
Wow. Do you think the 5-year-old changed her ways, Carly?
No, not at all. And if you want a child for your wedding, don't change your mind.
Savannah, did you ever get to hear of the story of 2 crotch goblins that came to a wedding and destroyed it? They smeared chocolate all over the bride's dress and I think broke the cake.
No, I have not heard that story, but I would be going off. If that happened, if I was a 5-year-old, how fun. But
yeah,
if I was the bride, I'd be like, they would be thrown, I think.
Yeah. Opie says 3 days later. So we had our usual Sunday family dinner with my parents, my fiance, my brother, sister-in-law, and evil niece. My sister-in-law finally said to me and my mom that they won't be able to attend due to financial reasons, to which I said, I completely understand, and they will be missed, but no hard feelings. My mom then tried to get me to have the wedding near home, to which I said no. But then my brother comes upstairs to tell us he's going to Portugal to play golf in October with my dad and some friends, no wife or daughter, and that it's been decided today. For context, my wedding is in June.
Well, then that's just stupid at that point. Be better about your fake excuse.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't say money reasons and then be like,
oh my God.
But we're going to go to Portugal.
Well
Hate
then.
them. These people suck.
So you just lied to my face. I wonder where the niece gets it from. Evil. All this after my niece played soccer in the house against glass doors.
Wow.
Threw a screaming fit when told to stop. Threw a soccer cone at my fiance's head 3 times before my brother finally intervened. And we spent the entire supper hearing my niece bang plates, scream at everyone for attention, sing at the top of her head, and everyone constantly stopping to give her attention. Much as I think they are being selfish by going on to one trip, but not to my wedding, and how they are doing this because my niece isn't invited, I am somehow relieved that they won't be there.
No, literally. She's evil. Literally the worst. Hate her.
And that was in the story, but we got a downvoted commenter. You're one of those people that are never happy. You don't want them at your wedding. Now that they are not coming, you still find a way to be heard about them going somewhere else. How selfish and self-centered can you be? Opie says, LOL, I never said I was upset that they're not coming. I simply said they could have just said no instead of giving me a ridiculous excuses. And then the hypocrisy in announcing his solo trip when they refuse to do that for us. But all in all, it's much better that they not come at this point. And by the way, you can come whenever you want on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime. Come along with us. That's the end of that story of the evil niece.
She married my brother. Now she controls my life.
No, not the brother!
Shouldn't she be controlling his life?
Yeah.
I have only met her twice before she recently married my brother. She was at her best and seemed decent enough. I was happy to have a sister-in-law and hoped that we could have a great relationship. By the way, this comes from user Melancholy Bean. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do in any given situation. So if you do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, they got married in a courthouse and told us about 2 months in advance. I told them that I wasn't able to attend because I have a senior dog with epilepsy. Fair.
Yeah.
A fair reason to not attend. I have never boarded her before and was worried because she's also high-strung. They also plan to have a vow renewal in 2 years' time with an overseas trip and plan to invite more people, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad that I missed out. I didn't think my sister-in-law cared that much that I couldn't attend. They got married on Christmas Eve and insisted I come and visit them for a week the week after. They live in a different state. I am here now and can't believe how controlling she is. She treats me like a child, even though I'm older than her. When my parents visited to attend their wedding, they told my brother and sister-in-law that they were worried about me. I lost confidence from my last job and was depressed and didn't work for a year. I did a short course, but other than that, I stayed home most of the time. I got more depressed because I let go of my friendship with my supposedly best friend of almost 20 years. My relationship with my mom is also strained. 2022 was a depressing year for me. I already know that my situation is pathetic as I'm 36 and still live at home. Results may vary. That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I give people a break.
It's really only like once you like get married and stuff in most other cultures that you're expected to even move out in the first place.
Yeah,
It's
honestly
only like
true.
in the States and like Western culture where that's so expected. It's like until you have your own family, it's like pretty much everywhere else. It's like, why would you not live with your family? They're your
Right.
like,
And it makes sense. It's like save money so that you can afford instead of, trying to do it and then failing and being like, I'm in squalor.
I'm a failure
Right?
and I suck. I've never moved out, so I don't have the experience of living on my own or with roommates. But even though I live at home, I used to pay rent to my mom and split the utility bills. My parents don't force me to pay rent, but as an adult, it's the right thing to do. And I appreciate not having to pay excessive rents. But since I didn't work last year, I didn't pay rent, but I still split the utility bills and buy things for my parents when they need me to. And sometimes I don't ask to be repaid. My parents don't know a lot of English, so I help them as a translator when they need me to, and help with whatever else they need. I'm not mocking them. They mostly leave me alone, and I'm free to do whatever I want. They're not controlling or toxic. Obviously, if they were, I would move out. On the first night that I arrived, my brother and sister-in-law were telling me I needed to move out. My sister-in-law also complained about my new dog and said I should give him up and that I'm using him as an excuse to not move out. My mom wanted to get a new dog as her friend was giving her dogs away. I was hesitant because I was worried my senior dog couldn't cope with a new dog. I said we can try him out for a week, but it's been a month, and I'm attached to him, and he's attached to me. He's 2 years old, and since he wasn't socialized and was left in the backyard with his siblings, he has behavioral and social issues, which is understandable. He's aggressive around my parents, tending to bark and lunge at them, but so far I have taught him to sit, and he tells me when he needs to do his business, because he goes and sits by the door. He still pees and poops in the house if I let him roam free, but he doesn't do it in my room. He's actually quite a good boy otherwise. No, he's not. Sorry. No, he's not. He's trying to bite your parents. You can't say, he tries to bite my parents all the time, but otherwise, he's a good boy. He also poops and pees everywhere in the house unless I keep him in my room. But otherwise, he's a good dog. That's a dog that takes a lot of training and a lot of time and energy that I don't think you're able to give.
Yeah, there was a lot of stipulations with that. She was like, I mean, he's great, but like it was the butts.
And to be honest, you've had the dog for like a couple months and you say it's attached to you, it'll be attached to someone else if they stay with it for a couple months.
It's true and it's sad.
Sorry. My sister-in-law was putting down my dogs and praised how good her dog is, even though she bought him from a breeder and put in the effort to take him to puppy school and train him. So of course her dog would behave more than my dogs.
Well, yes.
I mean, she's right, but I mean, she shouldn't be like just like
throwing it in your face.
Yeah, she shouldn't throw it in your face, but
Yeah.
like, it's kind of weird that you're like, well, yeah, of course, she had her dogs trained.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you should do that. And then people tell me I hate dogs because I say stuff like that. Like, oh, Dakota hates dogs. I'm like, no, train your animals.
If they're animals that need to be trained, train them.
Well, it's just everyone thinks they need a dog. Like, they're like, oh my God, it's so cute, I want a dog. Then they don't realize how much work. And then they're like, oh my God. And then they're like, not good. You know, like, they can't be trained. I mean,
if you don't put in the work to train your dog's a menace.
To society
to
and the government.
Literally everyone around it. It's sort of like the same premise of like an unruly child, where it's like the parents are like, oh, they're so sweet, I love them. But everyone around them is like, make that kid be quiet.
Yeah. No, they're just charismatic. Like, oh my
they're
God.
actually screaming at the top of their lungs in Olive Garden, and you need to make them stop. The next day, we went to have brunch, and they kept on telling me to move out and treat me like a child. I was frustrated and started to feel more depressed. I already felt depressed, but tried to have a good time, only to be subjected to lecturing. It was New Year's Eve, and that night we went to a dinner event at a brewery. She forced me to drink, even though I didn't want to, as I already felt depressed, and I get sad when I drink. On the way home to Uber, the conversation somehow changed into her mentioning again that I live at home and don't pay rent. Before that, she was ranting about how her parents forced her to do piano and sports when she was young. I joked that she had an Asian childhood. I am Asian, and she's Caucasian, but our childhoods were the opposite. I didn't know her parents were quite strict and headstrong. I said that usually Asian parents don't force their children to pay rent, and she started getting angry and saying, I can't generalize, and just getting really pissed off. When we got dropped off, she kept on going off at me and saying that I'm a child. She said that I'm negative and don't appreciate her hospitality, and that I don't say thank you, and I kept on asking for things. I was so confused because I didn't think I was doing anything wrong or being rude. I wasn't obsessing over saying thank you and was chill because when I first arrived and my brother was showing me my room, I was saying thank you and that he doesn't have to worry about making me comfortable because I'm easy. And he yelled at me to not be so polite, so I relaxed. I'm usually polite and say thank you and sorry more than necessary. And apparently I'm negative because I told the truth about the bed being uncomfortable. They asked me how I slept. I said the bed was quite hard. My sister-in-law told me a few weeks before I arrived that she bought a sofa bed. I appreciate that she did that and messaged her thank you. I told them I would be fine sleeping on the floor or the blow-up mattress that they have. When she apologized after berating me, I started crying because I was so confused. After talking it out, it turned out that she was still upset that I didn't attend their wedding and was getting upset over little things I did. Even so, it was completely out of line. I can forgive her, but it's the fact that she's condescending towards me. I can't say anything without her trying to one-up me, making it seem like I'm a complainer or treating me like a child. Examples, I don't want to talk to her because of how she is with me, and the other day, when we were waiting for my brother to open the door after he parked his car, she asked if I was okay. I said, yeah, I'm just tired. She asked if I usually have afternoon naps, and I said sometimes, but I try not to because it's not that beneficial for me. And she said that it could be worse. I have sleep issues. And she gave me advice about seeing a cognitive behaviorist and all that. Because she does breath exercises and tried other methods to help with her ADHD-related anxiety, I asked her, so, do you feel well rested the next day? And she couldn't even answer me normally. She kept on saying, well, I know what's wrong with me, and I took steps to do what's right for me, and prevention is better than a cure. It sounds like she answered you, my guy. She's like, well, I mean, I know it worked for me, so I did that. I tried to figure out what was wrong with me. Your situation's different than mine. I don't know if what works for me is going to work for you. That's an answer. We went to an open-range zoo yesterday, and she did mention that a safari bus tour usually comes every 10 minutes. Later on, she asked what I wanted to see, and I said we can go on the tour, and asked when that came by. She looked annoyed and walked away and said, like I said, when I went there, they came around every 10 minutes. She sounds annoying.
I mean,
okay?
it's different. Like, who cares, honestly?
She sounds annoying. She's not being honest about why she's annoyed by you. If she's upset that you weren't at the wedding, she should have just said that and been like, hey, sorry, I just got to get this on my chest. I'm kind of upset that you didn't go to our wedding. What was that about? And you go, oh my God, I have an elderly dog with epilepsy. I had to take care of him. I'm sorry. So she got pissed off because the first morning after I arrived, I took too long in the shower. I took a bit longer because I washed my hair. I also didn't think they needed to shower because they had a shower before bed the night before. We also didn't have a booking somewhere, so we weren't late for anything. We just went to brunch. She makes little comments about me, and I've seen her whispering to my brother from my peripheral vision after I've walked by. She constantly treats me like a child, and it's frustrating. But I have to pretend everything is fine because I'm the guest. And by the way, you can be our guest wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. You've got the full archive to stream right into your ears. Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
We have a little bit more story left, but like, what is our take here?
I think that this sister-in-law is very controlling and she feels resentment towards OP because they didn't come to the wedding. But the thing is, like, you know, she had a reason. It's not like she just made up a fake reason and was like, oh, something's happening and I can't come, you know?
Yeah, my stories were on that day and I couldn't not watch them.
Yeah, like it could have been like a much worse.
Man, she go, I can't do anything until I watch the new episode of She-Hulk.
Sorry.
I'd be mad if you didn't come to my wedding because of She-Hulk, but you had an elderly dog with epilepsy, so fair enough. Let's finish this story.
Yeah.
She said she stopped taking her ADHD medicine because they're trying to start a family, so at first I understand that it might be causing her to have mood swings, but it doesn't give her the right to be an a-hole to me. She doesn't try to understand me or my anxieties. She has all these assumptions about me when she doesn't know my experiences. I try to be understanding towards her, but she's self-righteous and judgmental. She thinks she's better than me because she's married. I worry about them having children now because she seems quite manipulative and controlling. She needs more therapy before starting a family. I worry about my future nieces and nephews. And that is the end of that story.
Sister-in-law found secret phone call recordings, and now the family is divided.
She got 2 phones.
I'm a 43-year-old man visiting my wife, who is also 43, female, my wife's family in India. We normally live in Europe. Her brother, 45 male, and his wife live here with their mother, my mother-in-law, who is a widow and financially dependent on them. And by the way, this comes from user Woodrow Wood. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily. But we don't have all the answers. We are not the all-seeing orb of power. We only know what we do, so just tell us what you would do in the comments, because I'm sure it's probably a little different. A few days ago, my sister-in-law claimed she discovered 5 recorded phone calls on a phone she had borrowed from my mother-in-law for several days. These recordings were private conversations between mother-in-law and her daughter, my wife's sisters, where they were venting about sister-in-law over a pair of earrings. My sister-in-law played all 5 recordings to my brother-in-law. He confronted mother-in-law, shamed her, and mother-in-law cried. She couldn't deny anything. Her voice was clear. She was completely humiliated and powerless. When asked how the calls were recorded, brother-in-law said it was a bug on the phone and refused to elaborate. I later looked it up and learned accidental call recording is technically possible, but it seems unlikely for 5 separate calls, all with the same person, to be recorded purely by mistake. The calls themselves were about sister-in-law asking mother-in-law to give her one of her few nice sets of jewelry. Mother-in-law only has 2 left, while sister-in-law has many. Mother-in-law didn't want to give them up, vented privately to her daughter about it, and eventually gave sister-in-law the earrings anyway. In the calls, mother-in-law and the daughter used the word, I'm just going to say cutty, which I understand is an insult mother-in-law freely uses about other family members as well, even to their faces. It sounded to me like ordinary venting. Mother-in-law lives in her son's home with no income or real privacy. She speaks openly about other relatives, but apparently she cannot say a single critical thing about her daughter-in-law without consequences. My wife doesn't believe the bug explanation either, but her brother insisted that this entire matter stay private, including not telling me. She eventually told me anyway, but she's hesitant to push back because she doesn't want to upset the family. I know I'm treated with respect here as the son-in-law, and I appreciate their hospitality, but I also know that my opinions don't carry much weight because I'm an outsider to the culture and not seen as someone who should comment on internal family matters. I genuinely don't want to insult anyone or misread cultural norms. At the same time, this situation makes me uncomfortable. From my perspective, mother-in-law seems socially, financially, and emotionally cornered. The recording incident felt calculated, and the secrecy around it adds to my confusion. How can my wife and I support my mother-in-law in this situation without jeopardizing her position in the household? And there are some comments here, but I honestly couldn't tell you. Like you said, there's like probably some different cultural norms going on here that I'm not clued into. It sounds like brother-in-law would be the one in the wrong here, but maybe not if he's like, you know, paying for everything and like putting her up. But I don't know. Comment 1, sounds like your brother-in-law and sister-in-law were recording intentionally. I don't know for what reason. It feels malicious to also gang up on your mother-in-law. At the same time, you also don't know how your mother-in-law behaves when around these family,
for them to react in such a way. It seems like you don't have a lot of information and no insight on the dynamics of the family, which is something I would try to prioritize finding out. I'm not sure how you can support your mother-in-law other than taking her out of your brother-in-law's place, considering the whole toxic ganging up thing is happening. I would probably set aside some money for your mother-in-law in case anything goes sideways. And also to tell your mother-in-law to not bite the hand that feeds her. And OP has some replies here. My mother-in-law is a very quiet woman. She stayed with us for a few months a couple of years ago, so I do know her quite well. My sister-in-law, the one who found the recordings, is a more overbearing personality. She rules her house with an iron tongue, and I don't think scheming is not in her character. My mother-in-law is reluctantly accepting the situation, as she knows what side her bread is buttered.
That's the first time I've heard that one.
Me too. I was like, I hope it's on the upside, you know? Imagine you butter the bottom side of your bread and you put it on the plate and then all the butter gets on the plate.
A waste of good butter.
You gotta butter the top. Everyone knows you butter the top of the bread. Mother-in-law can use WhatsApp for messages and calls. She had spoken to her daughter on WhatsApp during this time and only the phone calls were recorded. Another one, after bugging mother-in-law for her jewelry, a bug was placed on the phone and explained away with a somewhere bug. Mother-in-law was then bugged to apologize for comments made on the bugged phone. I do think if the other family elders were aware, it would be a different story. I don't think mother-in-law is capable of telling them, though. Living with her daughter, my sister-in-law, is a possibility. She lived with us for a few months a couple of years ago, but as she has no other language, it was a little isolating for her. And there is a second comment here. As someone from part of the culture, she can give whatever assets she has to her daughters. Sister-in-law sounds greedy and is the B word. And there's an update. I agree, comment number 2.
Yeah.
She does sound like a greedy B word.
Sounds like she's trying to get as much as she can. Please, sir, make your mother-in-law feel unwelcome and try to get her to give her things to make up for it.
A lot has happened over the last day, and I wanted to address some of the concerns raised in the comments. One of the big worries was that mother-in-law might be forced out of the home. That isn't something we're concerned about. Brother-in-law made it very clear that culturally and personally, he sees it as his responsibility to care for her. He said directly that it is her home and that her place there is secure. Whatever else is happening, her housing is not at risk. There were further conversations between my wife, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law, and the tone of things has shifted a little. Mother-in-law was offered the option of living with us if she ever wants or needs to. This is practical because she's stayed with us for months before. Although the language barrier makes day-to-day life harder for her where we live, she knows now that she has a place to go. That seems to have given her some peace of mind. They also talked about the jewelry. A few pieces were passed on to other family members, with everyone agreeing. This wasn't done as punishment or to resolve the conflict by giving things up. It was mainly to show mother-in-law that she is free to handle her belongings as she chooses and that her possessions aren't something anyone else gets to demand or control. The goal was to reaffirm her autonomy, not take anything away from her. Mother-in-law did say again that the recordings captured the kind of private, informal gossip that often happens between a mother and daughter, and that she can be blunt in those conversations. Everyone understands that. The bigger issue was always how the recordings came to be and how they were brought up. Sister-in-law also shared how she feels. She said that even after many years of marriage, she sometimes still feels like a bit of an outsider, and that attempts to get closer can fall flat because mother-in-law is naturally quiet and reserved with everyone, not just her. That doesn't explain everything that happened, but it does help make sense of why the situation touched a nerve. The tension between them didn't start here. This incident simply brought existing feelings to the surface. Some commenters familiar with Indian family dynamics will know that daughter-in-law criticism can be a pattern in some households. Sister-in-law is very aware of that dynamic, which probably made the recordings feel sharper to her than they may have been intended. For what it's worth, I agree that this pattern can be harmful, and I don't think anyone involved here wants to repeat it. In this case, mother-in-law's comments were private venting, not part of anything bigger, but I can understand how cultural context shapes up how it was heard. Brother-in-law also explained that his goal was to ease the long-standing friction between mother-in-law and sister-in-law and to make sure his wife was treated kindly. While the way it came out caused upset, it's clear he wasn't trying to isolate or control his mother. It also matters that he has a long history of being generous within the family. Gift giving is a big part of family life here, and he has always participated in that wholeheartedly. This situation doesn't reflect his usual behavior. It seems more connected to a mix of personalities, misunderstandings, and emotions running high. As for the phone, mother-in-law now understands that WhatsApp calls cannot be recorded, and she is being more mindful about how she communicates and who handles her phone. She made it clear that she values her privacy, and with everyone now aware of the sensitivity around this, I think that boundary will be respected. Things are still a little tense, but mother-in-law seems more reassured that her belongings aren't up for debate and that she isn't isolated. I don't expect decades of personality differences to resolve immediately, but the immediate pressure has eased, and everyone is talking more calmly. And by the way, you can calmly take yourself over to your favorite podcast platform and listen to full episodes with stories just like this one. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, all you got to do is search OK Storytime. And you've got the whole platter of stories to just nibble on at your heart's content. And we do have a little bit more story left here. Don't bug your mother-in-law's phones. Don't bug your mom's phones over some nonsense. Have a conversation with her.
Yeah, don't spy on loved ones.
I genuinely believe most of this comes from people who care about one another, but have different temperaments and expectations. Mother-in-law is quiet and easily overwhelmed. Sister-in-law is more expressive and wants to feel included. And brother-in-law is caught between wanting peace and wanting everyone to feel respected. None of that is unusual in a large family, and all of it is fixable with a bit more openness. My hope is that things stabilize in a way the whole family, including the children, can look back on without bitterness. And that is the end of that story, and I think that is a good thing to want.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to want it.
Yes.
I lost interest planning for my sister-in-law's birthday because her boyfriend is over the top.
He's just always like,
my 27 female sister-in-law, 27 female, started dating her boyfriend Alan, 29 male, about a year ago. And over time, we have become pretty close with both of them. He is a nice guy overall, but sometimes he's extremely over the top about her, and it feels like he's trying to prove something. By the way, this comes from Fantastic Double 7419. If you want to spend your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Vincent.
We're here to be goofy. You're here to comment. Let us know down below. So, before he came into the picture, there was already some tension between my sister-in-law because she had some pretty intense anger issues and, in my opinion, acted like a spoiled witch. She expected people to drop everything for her, but when someone needed a favor in return, she would either get upset about not having time to do it and later throw it in their face. I could go on and on with examples from the past 6 years, but in short, her parents, my husband, and I have all experienced her attitude. It created a lot of distance, especially after she moved back in with her parents, because I stopped wanting to visit. You never knew what mood she would be in. And if it was a bad one, she would mope around with an attitude and then blame it on her Shark Week or something similar. It made being around her feel unpredictable and exhausting. Because of all of that, we were not very close when her boyfriend, Alan, came into the picture in October 2024. He wore a red shirt and a blue tie and kind of talked a little weird. However, he seemed very nice, and my husband and I clicked with him almost immediately. He really liked cheese and paper clips. He's friendly, easy to talk to, and overall, very likable. We even ended up getting closer to sister-in-law, and honestly, she has been a sweetheart ever since. She has been thoughtful, supportive, and respectable, and the change has been noticeable. That said, we both noticed that Alan is a little too over the top when it comes to her. It does not feel natural at all, and it almost feels performative. He is also extremely overprotective of her, and it honestly gives me Edward Cullen vibes. One example was when my husband was talking to him in line, and sister-in-law walked away to throw something out. Alan stared at her until she came back to us, then apologized to my husband for not listening and explained that he locks in and goes into protector mode when she leaves at certain radiuses. It was strange and uncomfortable. Like, who does that? Who goes to protector mode after that? Another time, sister-in-law was telling me about remembering something from an old job that helped her at work. I told her she had a great memory because I would have not remembered something like that. Alan immediately jumped in and said how beautiful it is to be on the receiving end of that. And then on about how she notices things he looks at in stores and buys them for him weeks later. It was sweet, but it had nothing to do with the conversation, and he always does this. So he kind of goes out of his way to compliment the sister-in-law.
He's just like, oh yeah, that was a great story. You know, my partner is so cool. She buys stuff for me all the time. She's so thoughtful. She's the best, man.
We notice these things too, but mostly laugh them off and let him do his thing. Lately, though, it has started to genuinely annoy us. And I'm wondering if we're the a-holes for not feeling this way. It feels like everything turns into a speech about how amazing she is, even when it's not relevant. At this point, it is starting to grate on us. Her birthday is on the weekend of January 19th, and they are going away from the 16th to the night of the 19th. Since we would not be able to see her on her actual birthday, my husband called Alan and said we should pop in after work on Tuesday the 20th with balloons, cake, and her gift. She lives with her parents, but Alan is always there. Alan responded by saying she really enjoys spending time with family and would probably appreciate more than a pop-in. He also said she would be very tired after work on Tuesday, so Tuesday would not work, but then added that he would love to help with planning. It felt like he was telling us our plan was not good enough and should come back with something better. Even if he thought it was low effort, who says that to someone else about their plans? It left us both feeling annoyed and judged. He's her secretary, dude. That's kind of nice. Wouldn't you want your significant other to be your secretary?
Yeah, it's not like he's being like rude. It's more just like, oh, I mean, she'd really like it if you stop by for even longer, and you could probably do that if you don't come Tuesday. And then you guys are like, oh, this guy's so nice and positive about her, and we just don't like them. I don't know. I think Alan might be a cool guy.
Think so?
Well, you know what? I take that back immediately because he did that thing about like locking into protector mode. And that was weird. That's a weird thing to say.
Wait, what'd you say?
Sorry, yeah, Riley was locked into protector mode.
Last year, my mom was visiting from out of state around sister-in-law's birthday, so we did not go to her dinner. I also bought her a birthday and Christmas gifts for 3 years in a row, and it was never reciprocated until she started dating Alan.
Right. So, yeah. So?
OP, I'm sorry, but you're kind of sounding like the a-hole now. Guys, do we think OP's sounding like the a-hole? Type 1, if Alan's weird, type 2.
Well, I think it's like both. Alan definitely is weird.
Type 3
like,
if it's both.
Alan might also be making sister-in-law like a better person, but he's definitely kind of a freak. He's definitely kind of like, I mean, low-key, I'd be like, this person, the level of like deranged he is about sister-in-law, it's like, I almost am afraid.
Yeah. Because of that, I decided not to go and get her anything last year. Meanwhile, my husband and my birthdays were in July and September, and she got us thoughtful gifts and attended the barbecues at my in-laws' place that we coordinated for each other. From Alan's perspective, I can see how it looks like we skipped her birthday and did nothing while she showed up for ours. However, my husband pointed out that we planned those barbecues for each other. Alan did not plan anything for her, and instead seemed to expect us to do it. My husband is willing to help out to plan something, and I would be too. But I do not like the feeling as though we are being told how to celebrate her birthday. They just want to pop in and say, hey, they don't want to make a barbecue. Yeah.
Then just pop in.
Yeah. I'm annoyed enough that I almost want to stick to our original plan out of spite. Then just do that.
But why do it out of spite? Just stick to your original plan because you're like, nah, we have other things we have to do today. We couldn't make it. It's not even your birthday anymore.
We want her to feel honored and feel special. We're going to do this.
We want to pop in and acknowledge your birth.
Yeah.
And then we'll be on our way.
Good job. You made it out the vag. Congrats. That's all you got to do.
You know, pop in, hour.
And then pop out like she did at her birthday 28 years ago. At the same time, I would feel really bad knowing everyone else got a barbecue this year except for her.
I guess this barbecue.
Oh, well, I guess that sucks. She went on a whole trip for her birthday. Aw.
It feels like a lose-lose situation. Would I be the a-hole if I told my husband I want to stick to the pop-in? Type 1 if you think she's going to be the a-hole. Type 2 if you think she's not the a-hole. Okay? We got some comments here. Just stick with the pop-in. Alan just wants, okay, this is Alan's prerogative. Alan's protector. Alan's provider. Alan is the provider of the best, most funnest time for sister-in-law. So he's going to give any advice or anything that's going to make sister-in-law happy all the time, okay? Just do you. That's Alan's thing. That's Alan's job. He's the secretary. That's why he's talking to you on the phone. Just do what you want to do.
Yeah, stop worrying about Alan and sister-in-law. Just do you. You don't have to do what Alan wants you to do. And that doesn't make... And him wanting you to be there longer for her birthday doesn't make him a terrible person. Just say, we gotta go. Gotta go. We're on our way.
I thought of someone's name during this, of who this person could be. So imagine...
Who, Alan?
No, the sister-in-law. I know who the sister-in-law is. I said someone's name and they came in. Imagine that person, and then they're absolutely nice as soon as they get a boyfriend.
I mean, yeah, no, I would be...
Keon's like, what?
I would be nothing but happy about... What Riley is describing is like if somebody that we knew who like is kind of a petulant, intolerable a-hole got a boyfriend who was like, you know, obsessive or maybe weird, but then this person improved upon their behavior. Would I be happy? Yeah, I'd be happy. But I also wouldn't care.
We'd all be happy.
We'd all be happy. It just wouldn't also impact my life at all. I'd just be like, great, that person's, I guess, improving their behavior. And maybe their boyfriend's kind of freakishly obsessed with them. I don't care.
Yeah, Mr. Java says, I don't know what OP is even doing. It's making me stress out and want to drink. Don't do that, Mr. Java. Christina says, Alan is planning to propose, maybe?
And again, whatever. Who cares? Not my business. Do it.
But maybe Alan's like, sister-in-law loves family so much, and this is an important thing for us. You guys need to be...
Oh, so he's going to propose there at the thing?
After her birthday? I don't know, man.
You gotta think of a better way to propose than a barbecue, I think. In my opinion. Carly agrees.
Yes. The only woman in the room agrees. So we're on track.
Guys, if you like more stories like this, go to your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Update. And OP had some comments back and forth, basically being like, oh, yeah, they didn't do anything for us whenever it was our birthdays, but this is the only year we didn't do anything for them. It was like that kind of vibe. Update. My husband and I agreed that we do not have a problem with helping plan anything. What we do not like is feeling like we are being told what to do. We decided to stick to our original plan. Thank you to everyone who responded. It was super appreciated. You're welcome. Simple as that.